is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chad Moskin and Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vandergren in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vandergren in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono, who's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson off wide.
Is green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want to turn it to 2. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chad Moskin and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tenek and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he gets a good run. Dodd's just absolutely think about it. It's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sim Racing World TV, and welcome in to round number 9, the final round of Season 3 of 2024 for the Cooler Masters Super Formula Championship here out at Motorland Aragon in Spain. It's also our next round of the F1 Shadow Series. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro, joined as always by Brad Hudson. Hutto, a massive night of racing, multiple championships on the line that will be decided here tonight in what is almost guaranteed to be one of the best finishes to a championship we have ever had here on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, good evening, Hamish. Tonight is going to be a blockbuster. We have 3 championships to crown, newly crowned champions. 2 of those championships, one's down to 8 points, one's at 16 points, and another championship could be won on the very first lap. So a lot to unfold, a lot of moving parts in this race. I cannot wait for this one, Hamish.
Well, importantly for the one you speak of, which can end on lap 1, it cannot necessarily end on lap 1. It's not guaranteed to end on lap 1 now, because we have got the certain number of drivers that can give another driver a chance at the title race here tonight. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the title race, of course, massive event coming up next week. Hutto, of course, the Australian Open Wheel Nationals between GSRC and SRW. Those guys over at GSRC, they'll be fielding, I think it was 17 drivers, which means that we get a couple of extra entries going into that race at this point. So we've got a good opportunity for SRW to come out on top. But they've got some fast drivers in that field as well. Saw some of their action last night. Jackson Rehana is looking like a proper contender for next Wednesday night. But we have got a big return in the series this week, which, whisper, cheeky monkey. We're not going to mention it just yet, but our field just got a lot stronger by the looks of it.
Yes, Hamish, and I think I know who you're alluding to. They are hopefully back this week. I think I saw the timing tower just before, and looks like they've picked up where they left off. And hopefully that person can spearhead our attack going to next week's race, which will be nothing short of exciting.
Well, we will quickly bring up our championship standings at the moment for the top 20. These would be 20 of the current drivers we will be putting forward next week into the Australian Open Wheel Nationals against GSRC. Not all these positions are confirmed, of course. Some drivers could drop in and out. There is a bubble of drivers below this which can pop in, but as we mentioned, it's realistically gone from P20, and with a couple of drivers that are available next week, P25 has basically become our P20 now, Hutto, so we'd be looking a little bit further back of who could actually make it. But for these championships, of course, the Pro Championship, there are 5 drivers that committed here tonight. Marcus Knitska, David Gallo, Darren Fahey, Scott Pocock, Daniel Byrne. It arguably the most stacked and closest championship we have had in a long, long time. I know last season we had 3 drivers with an opportunity to do it. This season we have 5.
Yeah, Hamish, 5 is an insane number of drivers who can win this championship. It is absolutely ridiculous on the final race. So I think we've crunched the numbers midweek, and hopefully you've got a slide back there as well of how many positions each driver requires to get over the top of their nearest or the leading driver. So it's only 16 points between Marcus Knitska and David Gallo and Darren Fahey, who are both tied on second position on 1,064 points. And then Scotty Pocock's only, another 5 points behind them. And a little while down the track, you've got Daniel Byrne in P5. But 5 brilliant drivers, 4 very strong teams. Tonight is going to be fireworks.
It will indeed, meaning that if Darren Fahey or David Gallo want to win this title, they need to finish at least 4 positions ahead of Marcus Knitska on the road. If Pocock hopes to do it, then he needs to finish a further 2 positions ahead, so about 6 positions. Daniel Byrne, what's he got? He's got 52 points between him and Knitska, so that's a significant gap. He pretty much needs to beat him by around about 12 positions, Hutto. I think it is about 12 positions he needs to beat Knitska by, so it's doable. We already saw some carnage at the end of last season, so it is doable for Daniel to do that, but it is going to be a tough task for him. For the Pro-Ams, Tyler Sheep, Ben Brook, Callan Hodgkinson, all within a chance of that title race. You mentioned it is only separated by around about, it's separated by about 8 points between Brook and Sheaf. Hodgkinson, he's a bit further back. He's got about 57 points between him and Sheaf, so he has got a bit of a mountain to climb here tonight. But for Sheaf to win this thing, he just needs to finish within 2 positions of Ben Brook, and then it would go to Countback, which... Would Countback go to, we look at the drop round and see who had a better drop round? Or
I think it probably would be. Probably go to overall points, and right now Tyler's in front by about 40-odd points. He's had a much stronger season than Benny Brook. So still very, very tight. Look, like you said, only a couple, 3 positions for Ben Brook to get over the top of Tyler Sheaf. Another very, very tight championship.
And then for the AMs, a not-so-tight championship out there. 119 points separate Matt Tesseriero and Callum Rosanita. For Rosanita to win the title, he pretty much needs to win the race and needs Matt to finish right at the back end of the field. He needs to beat him by 30 positions if he hopes to win the AM Championship tonight. So all Matt has to do is just have a nice, clean run. I know he wants to finish inside the top 20, but pretty much with an extra 5-position leeway now in the title race for that top 20, which is now realistically top 25 to go racing next week, he's in a much more comfortable position than what he may have first thought coming into this race.
Yeah, I guess we've got, 30 drivers on track, so we might actually have a result. We might be able to crown our AM Championship by the end of lap 1. Of course, our drivers only need to have completed at least 1 lap throughout the race to score points. And I guess it's been a fantastic season by both drivers.
I suppose what it would be is we wait until 3 drivers are out of the race, and then we can technically crown Matt the champion. If we do have over, so say we have 32 drivers, we wait for 3 drivers to crash out and not return to track, and then we can say Matt Tesseriero is the champion because he just has to finish the race. But qualifying is about to get underway. Drivers are out on track. They are settling in to preparing to tackle this circuit. And the name we mentioned, or the driver we mentioned earlier, who sits right now at the back end of the top 20, Phil Vella, is in the session tonight in a moon boot in the rig. Now, whether he actually qualify, he can't qualify. He has a rear of grid. So if he does race, he has to race from the rear of the grid here tonight, Hutto. And I mean, for him to stay in that top 25, he will need a good performance, but he's got some pace, and he proved it in practice, even in a moon boot. He's fast. I genuinely think this guy's just an alien at this point. He is otherworldly at this point. To be racing with a moon boot on and to be going as fast as he is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Hamish. He's a freak. He's the fastest man alive. Well, according to us here at SRW. Coming from the back of the grid is going to be one mammoth task for him. And in a moon boot, is he going to survive the 60 minutes? I don't know. But I guess his aim tonight is just to support Darren Fay and his championship. And the only way he can do that, he's got to get to the front of the grid where the rest of the gang is going to be. And in saying that, another driver I think that's got a rear grid for this evening is Dave Roberts. His teammate, Marcus Knitska, is currently sitting top of the ladder. So he's also got to fight his way through the grid to try and help his teammate clinch this title. And then we've got, I guess, the other team combo right in the top 5. We've got David Gallo and David Byrne from Carlin's Motorsport. I think it'll be papaya rules between those two. For the shootout for the glory. And then last but not least, we have Scotty Pocock for Red Rocket Racing, so I guess has close ties to DFR.
He's just flying the flag solo for the moment, but I think he would have papaya rules with Fahey at this point.
Exactly, yes. So, but these guys have been given it's been very competitive racing, but utmost respect on track. So I expect nothing short of a very, very close battle tonight for that championship.
Danny Davison's about to finish his first lap here in qualifying. Already has multiple purple sectors on the track. He's got a 148.74 in his first attempt here in qualifying. Ben Brook, though, has gone faster in the second and the final sector. David Gallo crosses the line 150.0 there. I don't know if Brook's time's actually counted when he crossed the line. He must have had an off track.
Perhaps had an off track, yeah.
Sinkovic P3 151.87. So a little bit of discrepancy in the times already, but we expect these things to... I do apologise. We expect them to filter into their correct positions throughout the race here tonight.
Yeah, I guess it must be a tough one for the drivers tonight, trying to find the limit of adhesion, where the track limits are out there tonight. So keep an eye on possibly some surprising results in qualifying, Hamish.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if who is going to, really make the most of it here tonight, and who's going to be maximising on their opportunities here in qualifying. Do we think qualifying is going to be as important as it has been at some other tracks, Hutto? Knowing that the last time we were here earlier this year, both races in the sprint round, there was carnage lap 1.
I guess, if qualifying... if the race turns out to be a nice, clean race, qualifying is going to be very, very important, because you need to be towards the front. Yes, there are several overtaking opportunities here at Aragon, but we've got that huge straight down the back, so look to see, I guess, a lot of opportunities for drivers to make their move there. But there's that technical part of it, the first half of the track, it's all just tight sweeping corners, well, not so much tight corners, but sweeping corners, and where a driver can poke their nose up the inside to try and make a move and push their driver out wide, and whilst I guess trying to adhere to those track limits. So it's going to be an interesting race, and I guess doubling back to your point, is qualifying going to be important? Yes, I think it will be just as important as it has been for the last several rounds.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot, Hutto. Who wins each title?
Okay. AMS, Tesoriero.
I think that's a given at this point.
Okay. Pro-Ams, I'm tipping Benjamin Brook. I think he's just... I hope Sheafy brings it home. He's been out in front all season, but for the last however many seasons, Hamish, have we seen upsets? And I think that's going to go the way of Benjamin Brook. And for the pros, I think Marcus Konecka is going to clinch it for the pros. He's going to follow his teammate, take over the reins, and become that number 1.
Very,
Hamish? What do you think?
Very interesting. So I'm going to agree with you on Tesoriero. I think it's a bit too insurmountable for Rossi to beat him.
It would have to be a travesty.
It would have to be a genuine travesty. Also, as well, I've just seen as well, Martin Lipsky has a rear grip penalty apparently for towing without permission in his last race start. He's done a quali lap, so that means he's going to actually have to start from the pit lane here tonight. So RC, unfortunately, we're not on that quick enough before he set a lap time. For the Pro-Ams, I am going to go bold. I think they actually tie on points with drops. I think it goes to count back, and I think Sheaf wins it on count back.
Sheafy on a count back.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he finishes within. I think Brook beats him on the road, but I think he finishes within 2 positions of Brook to tie the points, and it goes to count back on the drop rounds, and Sheaf wins. For the pros, I'm going to go the fairy tale. Scotty Pocock's going to win the pro championship.
Well, I guess that's another thing, Hamish. We talked last season about...
It's either he wins it in fairy tale, or the champion is a champion who has not won a race all season.
That's what I was about to touch on. Last season, we almost had that storyline where David Gallo was going for the championship without having a win all season. Now, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've done some research, and we have, I think it's 3 drivers in contention for the title without actually winning a race. So that our only race winners this season are, of course, David Gallo and Scott Pocock. However, Konecka, Fay, nor Byrne have won a race this season. So,
isn't that
whatever
wild?
happens tonight, it's going to be a headline.
It's going to be a what? That Daniel Byrne has not won a race all season.
But I guess we saw Vela dominate so early and was just miles ahead, and I guess it's no surprise. Vela won those, and then Davison's poked his head up and he started taking a few wins. Dylan De Bono's won a few races, and it's been hard for these guys to actually stand up and be dominant over this field, and it's been, I guess, coincidence or luck that these guys are where they are through consistency, of course, but with Vela not being there, it's just opened the championship wide up, and as we've seen, now we've got 5 guys going for that top spot.
Well, of course, some people have called out the fact that the championship is always decided more on consistency than winning races. That's with any series in racing, not just sim racing, but any race series always caters more towards someone who is consistent. It's just 9 times out of 10, the champion is consistent at winning or finishing on the podium. There's less of a point spread in those series, where with the point spread that we have, there's a bit more leeway for that consistency. Where if we only offered points for the top 10, you wouldn't. Yeah, it would probably cater more to who is more consistent at winning. But I do like the point spread we have, and I do think that consistency is key, because the more consistent you can get, the faster you're actually going to get. And I think that's actually a really good way of developing that in drivers, by getting them to be as consistent as possible to try and win a championship, whether they're a pro, an AM, or a pro-am. That's the best way for us to do it. Got a couple of chats out there. Duffin619 here saying, I was here, good luck number 8, meaning to Tyler Sheaf. And then Steph McCauley in chat, good evening, Hamish and Hutto. Go, Andrew Rushworth. Great to have you guys here with us. If you are watching live, be sure to get into the chat here on YouTube. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon as well. We want to hear from you. We want to know who are your picks to win these titles here tonight. We want to know how many safety cars you think we are going to get in this race this evening. Do you think we're going to get rain? I doubt it in the deserts of Spain. It doesn't seem like it's going to be wet weather, but the weather gods have tricked us from time to time. Hutto, safety cars tonight. Do you think we're going to get any?
One. Just the one, thank you.
I'm going to tentatively agree. I think this track's nice and open. You can have some chaos where cars end up needing a tow, but they're well off the track, and it doesn't really call for a safety car to come out. So if we're going to get one, I think it's going to be like lap 1 or 2, because we're going to get an absolute pile up at turn 1.
Correct, I was about to say, we'll get the lap 1 car park, and then everyone will spread out, form a nice line, and then we go racing for another 55 minutes.
Steph reckons we're going to get 2 safety cars. Very interesting call. I think Steph actually called this race with me when we were last here.
He did.
I think
yes,
she did,
I do remember that replay. Yes, yes. So, well, I guess she's tip 2. It's a very strong prediction. Like,
yeah.
We've how many rounds have we seen, Hamish, where we've just have not picked it at all? Last week we had 3, and that was
I don't think we've been on the mark all season, Hutto. I don't think we've ever actually gotten it right this season. So
the only time we got something right was when Scotty Pocock won. That
was pretty much the only prediction we've had right. So I mean, if we did get the champions right absolutely perfectly, we will never let anyone let that down ever again. At this moment in time, we've got 3 minutes just about left in qualifying. David Gallo is leading the way on a 148.453. Doug Gowan's P2. Danny Davidson P3. Then it's the next championship contender in Dan Fahey P4. Dylan DeBono P5. Kanitska, the leader of the championship, P6. Byrne P7. And then you look down the order. The next championship contender, Scotty Pocock, off the pace a little bit tonight. Hutto back in P13.
Yeah, and I guess those gaps between P7 and P13 are all made up by our pro-ams. We've got Benjamin Brook in P8, Matty Gerard P9, Jason Depp P10, and more importantly, Tyler Sheaf's currently sitting in P11 as Jason Depp just goes a little bit quicker to click P8.
Depp would be helping his teammate right now. If they were to finish how they qualified, Sheaf would win the championship on countback.
And I guess that's the thing I was we'll have to talk about as well. How much team play is going to be important for tonight? Because of Velocity Racing, they're going for 2 championships. One's pretty much sent, it's done, it's sorted.
Yeah.
However, the Pro-Am, I expect to see, I guess, a good amount of team play happen here. Like, let the guys race, but yeah, I think the guys have definitely been trying to help Tyler get him over the line to get that championship.
Yeah, I think Matt knows that Callum's got an Everest amount of points to climb over. He'll be willing to give up a position to Tyler if it means it can help him win a title. Daniel Byrne goes top of the timesheets, though, passing his teammate with a 148.4 at the moment. Only 0.02 of a second faster than David's previous best time. Oh, I mean, Scotty Pocock, if he does it, absolute fairy tale.
Oh, look, as it stands right now, I think with the gaps, I think David Gallo would win. But, look, it's going to be tight. If this is what we're seeing in qualifying, the race is going to be nothing short of spectacular.
David would win because he's 4 positions. He's ahead of Fahey, who he's equal on points with, correct, and he's 5 positions ahead of Kanitska. So this is what David wants tonight. I'm sure Daniel, if he wants to lock it out for David, he'll lightly let him past and give him the win if he has to. I think they know that Daniel's not in with guaranteed contention. They know David has guaranteed contention, where if Daniel's in the position to win, then more likely than none, Daniel will try and take it. So
yeah, and I guess it's just going to be so close, isn't it? And look, we've seen heartbreak, we've seen jubilation on these final rounds. Hamish, let's get racing. Let's go.
I love how much more you are opening up the thesaurus of your vocabulary in this booth, Hutto. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Then we have Mick Clifton out there saying Gallo, Sheaf, and Tesseriero for the titles. Good choice. Very solid choices. I do
like those choices right there. That is positive. I mean, it's a real Sophie's choice for the pros tonight, isn't it, Hutto? It's, pick a name out of a hat. Any of them can win it.
Well, you go the top three, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just pick someone in the top three. But I guess you've gone the longer shot, I guess, with Scotty Pocock. He's only, 21 points adrift, I think it was?
He can do it.
21 points.
He can do it.
Absolutely. Look, he's, let's just roll the tape.
I think, De Bono goes top, though, right at the end of qualifying, 148.9. So the first driver into the 48s here for qualifying. I think if it is going to be a driver who hasn't won a race, it'll be Konietzko. Because realistically speaking, Byrne needs to win. So that would take that away from us. Fahey doesn't necessarily need to win, but Konietzko's in the perfect spot where he can win this thing without winning the race. So, if my prediction for it's either Scott Pocock or someone who hasn't won a championship or hasn't won a race, it's realistically Scott Pocock and Marcus Konietzko are my two favourites at the moment.
And we'll have to keep an eye on, I guess, the fastest lap as well, because it's not something we've really factored into our calculations. We'll be playing, mathematic acrobats all night. But, yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on that fastest lap, because that'll give that driver 5 extra points as well.
5? Oh, my God. Okay, that does have a part to play. So that means that... Okay, so that means that Scott Pocock, who needs 6 positions, could do it with 5 in the fastest lap.
Correct.
But that would mean then if Konietzko won the race and he finished P5 with the fastest lap, it would go to count back and Konietzko would win the title anyway.
Yeah, the possibilities. So we'll have to keep on that. But I reckon Dylan De Bono, he's very, very quick and he's got a few fastest laps. So
I think De Bono may play a bit of a spoil for some of these drivers trying to get fastest laps tonight. I really do. Yeah. He was strong here last time. I believe he actually won both races last time, if I'm not mistaken. He's incredibly strong at this track, and I think for a race winner, he could definitely do it. It would lock him in. I mean, he's already pretty much locked into next Wednesday night, but it would just it would really, really give us some incredible meat and potatoes to chew on in terms of how can these drivers win these titles here tonight. It is going to be excellent. Scotty P did win at Mosport. That was the race that we selected Scotty to win the race, and he won.
Correct.
The one correct prediction we had.
Tuning in, Jay, from are you still in Italy? Still gallivanting around the globe?
Well, qualifying is coming to an end here, Hutto, of course. Oh, what a way to end this championship. F1 Shadow Round action at Aragon, representing the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for Baku. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know if my little old heart is ready for this. This could be... I mean, last season we ended it at Spain. We had absolute limbs in terms of driver contention getting swapped around for championships. Is it going to be a similar case here tonight at Motorland Aragon? Oh, you have a feeling. There's an electricity in the air that this could be massive. This could be a championship to remember, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be incredible. Jay Dixon on a ferry to Dubrovnik right now, getting seasick. Well, hopefully you don't get sick of me and Hutto in the booth tonight as we call the action. But starting grid for tonight's race will be as follows. Dylan De Bono will start pole position ahead of Daniel Byrne on the front row of the grid. David Gallo, Doug Gowans will start in behind with Danny Davidson, Darren Fahey making up the third row of the grid. Marcus Konietzko and Dave Roberts will start alongside each other for a Pace Syndicate fourth row lockout. That makes it 4 of our championship contenders all in the top 7 cars on the road. Benjamin Brook, Matt Tesseriero will then make up the top 10 with Matt Gerard and Jason Depp in behind them. We then look further back. We have got Shane Ratcliffe next to the next championship contender in Scotty Pocock back in P14. 7 positions separate him and the rest of the championship contenders. Tyler Sheaf, Dean Sinkovich will start alongside each other. Andrew Rushworth, Timothy Schmalenberg on the 9th row with Callan Hodgkinson and Callum Rossonida starting on the 10th row of the grid. And we know, Hutto, when they start alongside each other, They both have good races, so we will see if it is in the cards tonight for both of them to have a good run home. Andrew Cow and Sean Bonici start in behind with Nathan Verney, Kevin Wakefield for P23 and P24. A little bit further back, we have Nathan Verney, Nick Schmalenberg, Greg Johnson, Martin Lipsky with the rear of grid, Phil Vella as well, Jamie Davis, Josh King, Mitch Noble at the back end of things for 31 cars on the grid. Remembering that if Rosanita wants to win the AM title, he needs to win by 30 positions over Matt Tesoriero. So if we lose anyone in this race, it's done and dusted for Rosanita. He has no hopes.
Yeah, it's a very long shot for Rosanita to win this one, but look, he's tried his best, and that's all we can ask. And if he's had fun along the way, fantastic. But he'll be very happy that he's qualified, or just about qualified, for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. Another strong performance here. He'll be well and truly inside that top 20. So yeah, that's all we can hope for, really.
That's all we can hope for. We're just waiting for Dylan DeBono, Darren Fahey, Andrew Rushworth to hop onto the grid here tonight, as well as Phil Vella with his rear of grid penalty. DeBono is going to make it hard for us to do the grid pole image of his car, because he's likely going to hop on at the last minute. There he is right there. So we'll quickly do this. Hopefully the lights don't go up just yet as we check out the pole sitters car here of Velocity Sim Labs. Another pole for him. And unfortunately, it's another season he goes by without a championship, as the lights are going to go up. We're going to go racing at Meadowland Aragon for the final round of Season 3 of 2024. Who's going to get the jump down towards Turn 1? Do we get any carnage? It's a horrid start off the line for David Gallo as DeBono and Bird pull away nicely down towards turn number 1, with DeBono leading them through for the very first time. Is there carnage early doors here? Doesn't seem like it, but I say that way too early. There's a massive stack at turn 1 with Hodgkinson, Rushworth and others involved.
That's not a very good start for Hodgkinson, unfortunately. That might be the nail in the coffin for his championship, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was always going to be a bit of an insurmountable task to beat Sheaf or Brook in this championship. Hodgkinson, though, to the back of the field. We'll see if he can come back from this one, as DeBono still leads into the middle sector of this Aragon circuit. As Ratcliffe's had an off-track in the background. Rushworth with another incident as well. We'll get all the replays happening at the end of lap 1, just to suss up what's been happening amongst this field. Ratcliffe's had a horrid start. He's down a couple of positions. And Sheafy's up a couple. Depp's up 1. Rosanita's up 4. Verney's up 4. Cowan's up 3. King and Noble up 6 already. Davis already up 8 positions at this stage here, Hutto.
Yeah, early days, and a lot of main players sung out there by yourself, so we'll have to keep an eye on how this race progresses. No safety car called yet, so we might just see this turn into a bit of a strategic race.
On board now with Dylan DeBono leading the way to Daniel Byrne. He'll be trying to break this toe as soon as possible, as he tries to get as much pace down this back straight into the hairpin. We saw a little bit of carnage here last time we raced here, Hutto, where just a couple of drivers went for some quite audacious dives down the inside, and it just ended in tears, especially through the midpoint of the feature race. So we'll see how they go here tonight. Other screen, we've got Tyler Sheaf watching how he goes. He's currently trying to chase down some contenders on the road. Scotty Pocock's gotten ahead of him now. He needs to get ahead of Pocock, Gerard and Depp if he hopes to win this title here tonight. One of those positions you can almost feel is guaranteed if Depp's in the position to give it to him.
Yeah, agreed. I guess, like we said, team play will be a factor tonight, but, you know, those drivers still have to make up ground and keep their consistency for 60 minutes. 60 minutes is a long time for these drivers, and just to add on top, a few extra nerves. So, look, whoever comes out in front tonight is much, much deserved to be champion.
Gallo and Gowans now side by side through some of these corners. The battle is on between them. Davison's in behind. We know he's got some good pace. If he can put a full season together next season, Hutto, he is going to be a proper championship contender. We know that he is on song. We know he's got some pace. We know that he can bring it to the likes of Phil Vella and others when he is in full gear.
Yeah, I guess we just also touched on Phil Vella, only up 3 positions. I guess it's early days, coming from the back. He's lightning quick. He'll have to navigate, I guess, drivers who he's not quite used to racing. So, yeah, interesting to see how he progresses throughout this race as well.
I'm sure he'll just be taking it nice and slow, nice and easy tonight, not pushing too hard. This is what happened on lap 1 with Callan Hodgkinson and Andrew Rushworth. This was down into turn 1. So you see there, Side by side, Rossonita and Hodgkinson. On the outside, you can see Rushworth. So, just a little bit of overlap between them. Hodgkinson tried to avoid a car. Rushworth tried to go on an outside line. And they've just had a bit of contact, and that's what sent them around each other. Ratcliffe had an off track as well. I believe it might have been a bit further round down at turn 4. Ooh. So he put on the brakes trying to avoid the car ahead of him. Very good job at avoiding there. And had to keep it on going. So those are really the major incidents we've had thus far. But Andrew Cowan's also had an accident in the background as well, Hutto, as Roberts is battling on the other screen. So this was down at the end of the back straight. What has happened with Cowie down here? Has he just locked brakes and Davis? Oh, he nearly kills Davis. And Benici in the process. Very, very lucky not to get too much more damage, just losing the rear wing, but he will need to bring that thing in to get it fixed up.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Cowie. Look, he's coming with a full intent of just learning the vehicle, so hat off to him. He's done a fantastic job.
So you can see now David Gallo just trying to chase down his teammate Daniel Byrne. At this stage in time, David Gallo would be winning the championship, Hutto.
Oh, it's tight, isn't it, Hamish? We're only
tight.
4 minutes in. We're already trying to crown champions. Like, we can't just call it just yet. That's the thing. Like, we want to, but look, it is so early days, and look.
Oh, Roberts and Fahey have an incredible battle.
I was just listening to the radio, just a bit of chatter over the radio between car 5 and race control, so we'll see what comes of that one.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything malicious between them, just a good hard battle as there's contact in the background. One of the Schmalen bombers has gone off here, Hutto. In fact, it's Tim. He's situated inside the top 20 in the championship at the moment, but is not available next week. And he's now dropping all the way to the back end of the field.
Oh, it's not good for the JWM stable. But yeah, just seeing David Roberts and Darren Fay going wheel to wheel like a non-stop. It's good racing from these two. Hopefully they can keep it clean and stay on track for the entire time.
Oh, Knitska trying to help his teammate Roberts here, side by side. Roberts with Fahey through the first couple of corners. Fahey has to back out at this stage, but the battle is on between them. You can see Knitska lurking in the background. He's got to try and close up the positions to Gallo if he wants to put the pressure on him here. As Fahey now at the inside of Roberts gets the job done. Knitska's trying to get past both of them here. Outside line for him, but doesn't quite have the run into the next section as Brooke is now lurking in the background of this battle as well.
Yeah, Brooke will be licking his lips. Oh, as Tesoriero just gets past him there. Brooke will be, or at least two drivers will be licking their lips, just hoping that the pros come unstuck, make an error, and they can just gain a few more spots and put their, championship warriors at ease.
Well, right now, I can guarantee you, in that Velocity Discord, Tyler Sheaf is saying to Matt Tesoriero, just hold him back as best you can. Just keep him in behind you and let me gain 2 positions, please. Do not let him go.
And Jason Depp's only, 0.2 behind Benjamin Brooke as well. So I guess they'll be putting pressure on Benjamin Brooke from both sides, unfortunately.
A bit of a 2-on-1 scenario or a 3-on-1 scenario at this stage for the Pro-Am Championship. Bit of teams play by a bit of team planning here, which, some drivers might say, oh, that's a bit negative for them to do that. But you know what? That's racing. It happens everywhere in racing. As Gerard, he did mention he's going to help Sheep if he can. He's still good friends with Sheafy, even though they're in rival teams. He's going to help Sheaf in this championship if he can. And what he's just done is put pressure on Brooke once again, because right now Brooke's having a battle with Sheafy's teammates. So, in fact, it's a 4-on-1 scenario.
Well, I think we just saw Tyler Sheaf must have got a very good run onto that back straight, and Matty Gerard just went to the left and let Tyler go past. So, yeah, I guess we're seeing inter-team strategy come out as well.
Bit of velocity, similar team name helping there, I guess we could say.
Yeah, almost like a sister team as such.
But, even though there's literally
like Red Bull.
The only connection between them is Sheaf used to race for Velocity.
That is true.
But I mean, we did speak to Matty. I believe it was last week or the week before. He said, "Look, I'm going to help Tyler if I can. I'm still good friends with him. Just because he doesn't race for the team does not mean that I have any roles to him. I'm not in contention. He is willing to help him out. So That's the play from Matty, which he is more than welcome to do as a driver. They have got the free will to help whoever they feel they need to on track.
Absolutely. And I guess I'm just starting to look up and down the time tower. Your boy, your tip, Scotty Pocock, still languishing back in 12th. He'll be looking to hopefully make up a few positions, but he's got some ripper names in front of him, unfortunately for him. We've got Jason Deppenbrook and Tesseriero, I guess, this battle for the Pro-Am Championship, and he's stuck right in the middle. So, unfortunately, by the drivers in front of him battling, that might actually slow him down just a touch as well. But he'll be looking to make a move and get past some quick smart so he can get towards the front of the field and put his championship back on track.
I just noticed then Ben Brook had a slight blink on track, Hutto, so wouldn't it be heartbreak for him if once again this season his internet conks out on him?
Look, we've had it happen before where people have had connection issues and a title's gone the other way. Oh, Benjamin Brook, bit lunge. Oh, a bit of contact as well with Tesseriero. So, no love lost. A lot of good battling on track. Benjamin Brook just stays in front and go on board with Tesseriero. They survive another lap and they'll go again. And
it's heating up between them. Let's just quickly have a look here.
That back straight is going to be fireworks tonight, Hamish.
I think we may have a blow up at the end of the straight at some point tonight, Hutto. Also, there's a big lunge. Oh, yeah. So he lunged it up the inside. Did he have the overlap there? Let's just quickly break this down just for a second here. So does Ben have the overlap? So we'll go full pace for a moment. We'll go TV2. So Matt's already started turning in. I don't know if he has overlap already.
He's giving space.
He is, but he's trying to take a wider apex, and unfortunately Ben's locked it up. So if I
just
feel
got a little bit long.
Yeah, I feel if that had actually hurt Matt's car then and he called that in, they may have looked negatively on that on Ben's point. I can't speak for race control, of course. They'll break that down a lot further if it does get called in from a first-time viewing. I don't know if it's... it could be just classified as racing incident as well, so not 100% sure. But regardless, you mentioned Scott Pocock. Wilder things have happened, Hutto. If you recall to the final round of last season, me and Cowie did not even consider Dave Roberts as a genuine chance, and look who won the title. It was Dave Roberts. So,
well, what happened? I think it was DeBono and
DeBono and Byrne had a stack, which then took DeBono out. And then
on the restart. That is just flying past.
That is Pocock just sending it.
It goes back up the inside and goes deep.
Way deep. Pocock just... Oh, there's contact with him, and Depp's got over him!
Oh, that'll be one for race control.
Oh, that will be. That is that's like a Christmas present under the tree there, Hutto. I'm sure they'll be licking their lips to unpack that one.
Yeah, Depp's just gone into pits now.
What has happened there with them? What has happened? Let's really suss it up here. We want the full screen. So Depp's on it wide. Oh, he's kind of come across. He thinks he doesn't have the overlap anymore. Yeah, you know what? I reckon Scotty. I don't think Scotty knew he still had the overlap, and he squeezed him. Maybe.
I guess you got to look to the before that corner as well. Like he went deep. I guess first of all, I'm glad they didn't make contact during the apex of that corner, but it was just on the exit. So. Look, we'll let race control unpack that one. We'll see if we get a decision and what impact that has on the race.
It's an interesting mixture that we have here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So many things to unpack of how this race could go and how these drivers can end up at the end of this championship. Has that cost Scott Pocock? Or has it saved him from being involved in something bigger later down the line? We're only going to have to wait and see further throughout this race, but wow, we are 12 and a half minutes into this final round at the moment here, Hutto. DeBono leads to Byrne and Gallo. And at the moment, David Gallo is winning the championship. For Pro-Ams, Sheafy's winning at the moment. Tesseriero is winning it for the Ams at this stage. So just for the live update for everyone at home.
Yeah, that's look, it's still very early days for that Pro Championship. A lot of good drivers stacked towards the top. And like you said, if Sheafy can just stick with Benjamin Brook, be only like 2 positions away, he'll get it on a count back. And I guess, we can almost certain now, probably crown Tesseriero as the AM champion.
Well, technically Rushworth, Cowan and Hodge is going to not out of the race yet, because they could get their wave round and he could still end up at the back. I think we can lock him in as soon as P31 and P30 are technically out of the race. I think that's when we can confirm it, like 100%.
I don't think we're going to see anyone actually drop out tonight. Like you said earlier, there's lots of runoff for the drivers. If there's going to be a stack, there should only be, if there's going to be any safety cars. We still haven't seen one yet. We've all been good boys and girls out on track. So, look, I'm leaning to the way of Tesoriero.
Yeah, it is looking that way at the moment. Steph saying need a safety car. We could see one. I mean, we could just see a massive lunge at the end of the back straight, and then all of a sudden there's a car dead on the side of the road.
Well, we've seen that in how many laps in a row now? If it hasn't been the pros, it's been the pro-ams. It's been up and down the field. So a lot of tight battling and I guess brave moves down at the end of that back straight. And like I said, we've got 45 more minutes of racing, and we've been talking non-stop. Hamish.
Well, there's so much to talk about tonight, of course. So much to unpack. On the other screen, we have Knitska and Fahey. Their battle is still cooking at the moment. They're like a catering business right now, Hutto. They're just pumping out meal after meal of tasty dishes in this battle as Knitska's going to try and send it up the inside at the end of the back straight. Can he get the job done on Darren Fahey? He slots it through. A little bit of contact with him, but he gets the job done in the end. And now the pressure is on David Gallo because there's only 2 positions between him and Marcus Knitska, but all of a sudden there's now 3 as Gowans and him are battling it into turn 1. So they are swapping and changing like nobody's business at the moment, Hutto, as Fahey's trying to come back.
God, this is going to be a good race, isn't it, Hamish? They're battling for 6 and 7. They're battling just for 4 points, 4 minuscule points. It may not seem like much, but it means gold to these drivers. And we've just seen positions change, especially in, I'll say, from positions 3 to 7. They're going up and down. They're moving around. Notably, Dylan DeBono's actually checked out quite a bit in front of the pack, and Daniel Byrne, I guess, a little ways in front of that little battle group between P3 to P7. So, yeah, I guess it might be a bit of a quieter race for those guys, which I'll quite enjoy. But, yeah, all the action happening between P3 and P7.
Well, it's interesting that, we said that there could be a driver that wins the title without winning a race, and Dylan DeBono making a good case for it to possibly happen here tonight by taking the final win of the season if he can. He's got 44 minutes to do it, of course. It's a long way to go. Anything can happen. I mean, we've seen a lot of wheel-to-wheel action, a lot of side-by-side action as well at some parts of the track that you might think, should they be going too wide through there? I don't know if they should, which then makes me believe that we could see it at other points on the track that we haven't seen it happen yet. Like the section we just came through right next to the castle-type wall. There could be incidents galore happening there. Oh, my God.
Oh, this is... Righto, hold your breath. Let's do this.
So just to confirm as well, our suspicions were corrected by race control. Scott Pocock has been given a drive-through penalty for instant responsibility at the hairpin. So, like we said, Hutto, he kind of did squeeze depth there where he really had nowhere to go and still had the overlap on him. He didn't make the pass safely.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He just could have stayed a little bit more left, unfortunately, and I think that's scratched out another competitor for that pro class championship.
My other prediction is still alive of a winner of the championship without a win.
Your multi's not looking good.
Well, we put a parlay on it, and we'll, get your bet. We get a bonus bet back if one leg fails. But Seb Piccoli out there saying, who has the fastest lap so far? Well, wouldn't you know it? It's Mr. Moonboot himself, Phil Vella, with a 148.9 at this stage. He's, I believe, the only driver in the 48s at this point in the race, which is incredible. And he's already up to P14, Hutto. He's up 15 positions with a moon boot on. That makes me feel like he'd be P5 at this point if he actually had a working ankle.
I mean, she's just out for a Sunday drive. He's just testing the foot out again, just seeing how it goes. He's made a few positions here and there. That's Phil Vella, right? No, I guess he'll be probably taking more away from this race in terms of longevity of his body than it is to actually win tonight and help Darren Fay. Look, if he can get back towards the front and help Fay with this championship, fantastic. But I think more for Phil, it's about his body and how, when he if and when he qualifies for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals, how he approaches that race.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's this race tonight. I mean, he can't win the title. If he finishes where he is, he finishes in the top 20 in the championship. So that's a positive performance for himself. Duffin619 in the chat saying 9th. Now, come on, Sheafy, force the push. Well, the thing is, so I would say he doesn't need to push at the moment. He's a position behind Brooke. And if he were to push for the position, he'd be pushing for no reason. It would be putting a risk on his own championship to push for it, as Dean Singovich and Callum Rossanita have had an incident somewhere along this circuit as Pocock's into service penalty. So this is what happened with Sinkovich. It was at the end of the back straight, Hutto. Rossanita was... Where was he? Oh, he was right there. Sinker spun it round doing his best Stephen impression. Oh, my God!
Oh. Safety car has been called.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's surely going to be a safety car. That's surely going to be a safety car. He's on his intake. Oh, no.
Punches the back up just a little bit more. That compresses the front of the field. I guess that gives Tyler Sheaf that 6 seconds back to Benjamin Brooke. But like you're touching on, he needs to finish just two positions shy of Ben Brooke. So,
really opening up the thesaurus now, Hutto, by mentioning sex on a broadcast. First time that has possibly happened.
Sorry to any kids out there watching that one. Sorry, Mum and Dad.
No, the last kid we had in the chat got timed out because he swore in the chat. So
naughty boy.
He was a naughty boy, so he had to learn from that, unfortunately. Is the safety car on track yet, Hutto? Are you able to check, or is he waiting at the end of pit lane?
Yeah, we are waiting at the end of pit lane.
Okay.
Just sitting inside the car. He'll be looking for... Where's Dylan DeBono right now?
He's coming up towards the pit entry.
There we
go.
He's
at the final corner.
Car starting to roll. Let's get a bit of...
I was about to say Dylan's for sure coming into pit lane. I mean, why would you not? Free pit stop at this point. I expect everyone into the lane in this race.
So does Phil Vella stay out? Team play?
Ooh.
Big brain move, get to the front and try and help your teammate. Does he stay out?
Oh, I don't know if it's worth taking the track position, because he's likely going to end up...
well, he's going to end up with no fuel. I guess it takes only...
He's in anyway, so... Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're seeing the whole field come in. They'll reset. Let's see if anyone can make a move in the pit. See if they can jump up or down a few positions.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. Steph Coley chat. Poor Hutto. Hamish don't miss anything. Did have a little giggle. I don't miss it. You can't get anything past me. I'm like a hawk listening out for these things. I caught Sinker the other day. I think he swore on the broadcast, and I caught him out, and he's like, "Oh, we're 8:30 on a Saturday night. Give me a break." I'm like, "Yeah, fine. We are late night for a Saturday, so that was all right." He got a pass for that one.
Well, it's almost 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. in New Zealand, isn't it? You know, it's almost coming up.
It's nearly 10. It's nearly 10. It's nearly 10 o'clock in New Zealand, actually. So we are getting to late night viewing on a Wednesday night.
There we go. I'm good. I'm good in Kiwi land. It's fantastic.
You know what? PG indicates you get one use of the F word, so we're still PG.
Right.
Yeah. That's the classification. PG films get the use of one use of the F word. If you use two, it's automatically classified as the next up above. So whether that's M or T for teen in the US or whatever it is, that's the classification.
Well, I guess while we're waiting for the crowd to, or the field to bunch back up and form up behind the safety car, shall we talk about the Open Wheel Nationals that are occurring next week, Hamish?
I think we should, Hutto, because the track has been revealed to us. Has not been revealed to the public, but has been revealed to us.
That is true, and I guess there's a little promo video on its way.
Yeah, we haven't received it yet. We have got a promo image, but we don't have the promo video, unfortunately.
We need our fearless leader to release that one.
Yeah, I don't think we reveal the track right now.
No.
I think we wait to the end of the show. Obviously, wait to the end of the show. But I think we can give some clues. Surely we can give out some clues.
Well, we've definitely raced there before. Put it that way.
We've definitely raced there before. It is a Grand Prix circuit. Take that as you will. There's your clues.
Yeah. We might drop another one a little bit later as well. But look, the Australian Open Wheel Nationals, it's a fantastic initiative driven by the drivers here at SRW and GSRC. We've got 9 drivers that have already qualified for that race from our side. So that is Knitska, Fay, Gallo, Pocock, Byrne, Gowans, Jay Dixon, but he'll be unavailable, unfortunately. Tyler Sheaf and Benjamin Brook. They've all scored enough points to make their top 20, regardless of the result tonight. And look, the bubble is huge. And I think you touched right at the start of the show, Hamish, that GSRC were only able to field 17 drivers. So they've offered up the 3 extra spots for us to try and facilitate that. So we'll be taking 23 drivers into the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. So we've had to crunch numbers behind closed doors and figure out like who's racing, who's available. So we're looking down to the guys that are sitting in the championship, down to about P27, 28, who are realistically a chance of still making the Australian Open Wheel Nationals next week.
Well, it's a bit of a lifeline for some drivers who may have felt, oh no, I'm a little bit too far away, that they can actually make it. Super Crush in chat saying, nah, in Australia gets 1, it's PG. In the USA, that gets 1. Oh, sorry, nah, M in Australia gets 1, it's PG. In the USA, that gets 1. I swear I have seen M-rated films in Australia with more than 1 F word in them. I swear I have. Might be wrong. I swear I have.
But yeah, I guess touching back on the
we like a little interjection of random waffle every now and again. But Australian Open Wheel Nationals, Hutto, I mean, it's a massive event. Of course, I have the absolute pleasure of being on that show alongside you and one of the GSRC representatives as well. You know, it's going to be interesting to see who we field. It's almost a blessing that we have got Phil Vella available next week. Thank you to whoever produces Moon Boots. I'm not going to say that we are relying on Phil Vella to perform for us, because we have got some incredible drivers at the top end of the field. Knitska, Gallo, Gowans, Byrne, Bono, Fahey, Davison even as well. And Roberts, you know, and even Pocock. Those guys are proper contenders. Proper contenders. And you know, even I believe it's Davis and Rayhana in GSRC. Those guys are pretty quick. We've got some quick boys too. So it'll be interesting to see how they all match up.
I quite like our depth here at SRW.
Yep. And
that goes to show, just look at what's being produced now. Like, we've got 5 drivers going for that top gong. It's, I'm quietly confident, but it's going to be a new challenge for all the drivers, because they're driving against others that they haven't driven against before, potentially. So it's that, I guess, feeling out, you know, where they can be aggressive, what to do, what driving styles the other our competitors have. So it's going to be, I guess, a new frontier for a lot of drivers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know, we have got a little bit more depth at our top end. I think it's just our depth is not as close for, say, the Pro-Ams and the AMs. I think the Pros are incredibly close, which is why we have great depth at the front end of the field. And then it spreads out a little bit more as you get into the Pro-Ams and the AMs. But that's the nature of the beast, and that's the nature of the classes as well.
And that's expected, Hamish, Like, you just, Well, I guess we're almost going to get underway. Who's that leading?
So De Bono leads. So one thing I noticed in all this is Phil Vella's actually gained a position in the pit stops here. He is now up to P12. Dave Roberts has dropped back significantly back to P13 on the road, Hutto. So everyone else ahead of them has gained a position on him.
Oh, I wonder if he took tyres by accident and just extended that stop a little bit.
Quite possibly.
Who knows?
Quite possibly.
A couple more corners, we get underway again.
Yep. And we'll see when De Bono goes. It looks like he's gone early. And he has indeed. So he goes on the exit of the hairpin and rockets up towards the start-finish line here at Aragon. Safety car restarts. Does this one lead to some chaos occurring at turn 1? As we can see, Gowans and Gallo battling it out hard here in towards turn 1 in the background. They are still continuing their little scrap. We'll see if Fahey and Roberts come back together later in the piece as well, as Brook and Sheaf are now right next to each other and battling it out for that Pro-Am win as well, with Tesseriero, Gerard, on the bubble at the back end of the top 10. We've still got Davison, Fahey, Kanitska, Gallo all in it, as well as Byrne and Gowans. And what this has now done is has put a little bit of pressure on De Bono all of a sudden, with Byrne right on his tail.
Yeah, and I guess De Bono will be looking to skip away probably with Byrne and just, let those guys who are in contention for that championship, just let them squabble. And so essentially there's two different races I think that will be going on here for the pros tonight.
I think Byrne will be hoping for is they just have a bit of a stack together and he automatically gains the positions he needs to win the title. I think that's what he's hoping for at this stage.
Well, where are we? Sheafy's still half a second back. He might be able to get a good run here on Benjamin Brook, but I guess all the pressure, really, it's on Ben Brook just trying to make a position. Like, where does he find that time to go and chase down the pros? Like, that's the big question. But in saying that, Sheafy's got to keep a clean race and maintain that, I guess, that two-position buffer, or stay within that two positions. So, yeah, bit of mind games for both drivers.
Realistically, Ben needs two positions. He doesn't just need the one, he needs two more positions. As Rosanita has had an accident just quickly in the background, but Cowie, and it's massive damage on his car. This could be Rosanita out of the race and out of the championship. Hutto, as he's missing his front end.
Well, is he a lap down already? I think he is.
He is already a lap down. He's driving back to pits, but he would have used his fast repair when he was last in pit lane. So I would say this is championship and race done and dusted for Callum Rosanita.
Well, I guess we'll see if he does come into pits. Yeah, unfortunate end for Rosanita. He's been a very strong competitor all season. But yeah, that's racing. These things happen, unfortunately. We can't write fairy tales for everyone. I guess we've only got so many storylines we can talk about, Hamish, isn't that?
Yeah, we're not a library, unfortunately. We don't pack a heap of storylines out there. But what this means now for Tessuera is he just needs to run a clean race to the line. He just needs to get to the end of the race. If Rosanita is out and does not return to circuit, Tessuera realistically can pull it up and he'll win the title. But he wants to make the top 20 or the top 27 to make the race next week for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. So he will want to get to the checkered flag of this race. Got a feel for Cowie. He mentioned to us at the start of the piece that, one of your storylines could be, have I had a race without a crash yet? That'll be one of our storylines for next season, I think, is can he have a season without any crashes, is Cowie.
Oh, Cowie. Look, like I said, he's not known for his downforce racing or the downforce cars prowess. He's more of a V8s driver, and good on him for giving it a go. But yeah, I guess he's still got a lot to learn about these cars and where you can push, how much room you can give other drivers, when to lunge down the inside, just how fragile these cars are as well. So big learning curve for Cowie, and I guess hopefully see him out there again next season.
One thing I've just noticed is Rosanita's actually stayed on track. He hasn't come into pit lane, Hutto. So he is still traversing here as 3 wide down the back straight. Depp, King, Benici. Oh my God, that nearly ended in absolute tears. King still trying to come at Depp here. Great little battle happening towards the back end of the field. But yeah, Rosanita, he is still traversing without that front wing right now. So, I mean, it's
brave man.
Yeah, very brave, and it is feeling more and more insurmountable for him to win that AMS title. But weirder things have happened in the past. Anything could happen. Half an hour to go, though. It is looking dicey for Callum Rosanita.
Yeah, unfortunate end, but just as I've clicked back to Tyler Sheaf, Phil Vella just making his way all the way up the field, passes another. That's up 20 positions tonight, Hamish.
I like how nonchalantly we mentioned that. As Phil Vella, he's up in the top 10, up 20 positions. Like, it's not a big deal at all.
We mentioned this a few weeks ago. It was like, imagine just being able to call upon Phil Vella as your wingman, as when we're talking to Darren Fay a couple of weeks ago. And look, that might play a pivotal role. If Vella can get inside, that top 7, all of a sudden, that extra car is now taking points away from someone else. So, look, that storyline's developing. This Pro Championship is going to go right down to the wire, I think. I think we're going to be running calculations all evening. This person's in front, this person's in front. It's going to be a tough night for us, Hamish.
It will be, mate. It will be indeed. I wonder if Darren Fahey is a space cobbler. That's a real deep cut because he has a moon boot.
Oh. Mate.
One of my worst, I know. Give a shout out on Jamie Davis. He's up 17 positions now after getting past Shane Ratcliffe. Mitch Noble, his teammate, who has been on an absolute tear, has followed him 17 positions up the field. You know, King, he struggled a little bit in the supercar previously, getting up to pace in that car, but he has taken to this thing like it's nobody's business. He is really in his grooves in this open wheeler. And I think he's going to be an AM challenger next season based on some of his performances thus far this season. He's been a little bit unlucky getting into some incidents, but he's had the pace and he's had some great consistency on his day.
Absolutely. But that consistency is key, as we've seen on all 3 championships. The guys that are sitting at the top have all had very consistent seasons. So it'll be one for Mitch. Like we know he's got the pace. He's getting better at his racecraft. He just needs to have that consistency, and I reckon he's a shoo-in for that AM championship next year if he's in AMs there for that season, actually.
Yeah, it's really going to be quite an interesting tale going forward into season 4 of 2024 and beyond at this point. Shane Ratcliffe just had a slight spin there at one of the hairpins in the middle of the circuit. He's gotten it going again, but he has now dropped a heap of spots to the rest of the field. Rosanita had finally come into pit lane, so he's fixed the car.
Maybe it's
Did he not
very
use
easy to change that front wing.
Maybe he didn't use the fast repair on the last incident.
But he was on his lid, wasn't he?
Was on
who
his
knows
lid.
how much damage he sustained. So, look, I imagine he'll probably just want to be out there, just turning laps. Like, you've competed all season. It'd be rough to go out with, half an hour to go. Why not just keep pushing the car and bring it home and say you've done as best as you could?
Even as well, just treating it as a test session, get more laps under your belt in the car, more seat time in the car as well, and just trying to improve on those, those little minors that we talk about of hitting your marks around a lap and just trying to do your best on your day is often quite a positive here. Dougie Gowans, he's had some great pace tonight. All of a sudden, putting some major pressure here on Daniel Byrne. It would be quite a revelation for Velocity SimLab to take another P12 finish this season. If you recall Donington Park, well, it was a bit of a Bradbury moment for Gowans, who took the win after some controversy. But he's got the pace tonight, and he could get this done. And if Byrne's going to try and hold him off, try and give a position to Gallo if he can. This is going to be a tough fight, and the classic rivalry is back. Velocity SimLabs versus Carlins continuing even in the final round.
This league's starting to develop those rivalries, the inter-team rivalries. Like, whilst it's very, very respectful out there, it's hard racing as well. We're starting to see just the same names, the same players coming to the front in terms of just those battles.
Hutto, can you see my screen?
Sheafy's missing a rear wing. What's going on here?
What has happened to Tyler Sheaf, the championship favourite? He had Gerard in behind him. What has happened? Oh no, he's looped it around.
Oh, friendly fire. No. Oh, that's a shame. No.
Oh no.
Sheafy would be. I feel sorry for his teammates.
There's another absolute blow up at the back end as well. Depp's been involved in something as well. We've got a little bit of blinking here because of the particles. We do apologise. Hopefully this sorts itself out very, very quickly.
What's going on here? Marcus Knitska's going back a few spots as well just now.
What is happening? What is happening in this race? Byrne as well. Byrne's also gone off.
Well, okay. Now, that changes the storyline a bit now, doesn't it, Hamish?
It does.
We have Sheafy going backwards. We have Marcus Knitska, our league leader. He's back in P14. We have... Daniel Byrne's dropped off, so he's not out of the race, but he's down to P8, so that's dropped him back a few spots. Benjamin Brook is in P7, and his counterpart Tyler Sheaf, P29. That he's in the position to win that championship now. And we've got Dylan Bono's streaking out in front. Gowan's not in contention, but he's now holding on to P2. David Gallo, as we speak, I think he's in the running.
He would be winning the title at the moment, would be Mr. Gallo.
Exactly, because he's in front of Faye, who are on. They're both tied on points, but they've got 11 positions. David Gallo to Knitska is 11 positions. So, look, we've still got 23 more minutes or 22 more minutes of racing, Hamish. It's still not over. We've seen the storyline change, what, 2-3 times already tonight?
Yeah, it is. It's swapping and changing like it's nobody's business right now. It's like we're just getting into the rewrites at this point of the storyline. I feel like someone sitting there with their laptop in a coffee shop writing their screenplay and just going through about 5 different rewrites of the storyline they're trying to perfect. That's what this feels like right now.
Yeah.
Plot twist. Oh yes, all of a sudden you thought they were dead. No, they're not. They're back. As Tessierro, Kanitska side by side at the end of the back straight. Tessierro lets Kanitska have it. No point fighting for that one. He does not need to get into too much of a scrap as Cowan is off the track once again on the right-hand side. Verney now all over the back of Tessierro as well. In the background, we got Hodgkinson and Schmalenberg. These guys battling it into the hairpin as well. Not as many, we had a big blow-up here early in the race with Rostanita, of course, and then with Depp and Pocock. We haven't seen too much action happening at the end of that back straight, though.
No, I guess things have quietened down a bit. Well, we've seen, I guess, cars starting to come together at the start of that that long straight. I think we saw an incident or two and a few drivers starting to loop around. Even that sweeping left-hander after a little corkscrew. So, look, maybe the concentration factor's starting to creep into a few drivers, and 60 minutes is still a long time. And you add some nerves on top of that, it just makes it oh so much harder.
Can you do me a favour, Hutto? On your SDK, can you scroll back through the incidents and find Daniel Byrne and Marcus Kanitska's crash and just have a look at it for us, just because mine's going to be all blinky from that point.
Yeah, roger that. So, Kanitska and who, sorry?
Byrne.
Daniel Byrne.
It'll be in red. Just make sure your replay set to like TV1 so it shows us the outside.
Yeah, roger that.
Cool. I do apologise for the blinking, of course. I don't know why it's all of a sudden happening now that everyone is spread out. They were fine when they were all together. Normally it's when they're all together that it has a bit of an issue. Here we go. So this is what happened with them on the back straight, it seems. I know we're still on the live pictures at the moment.
Yeah, Cliff, got to go through so much content, so many passes, so many crashes. That's right.
It was lap 18, so just to make it a bit easier for you. Here we go. So this is what happened with them. So Byrne and Kanitska. Oh, it was at that hairpin. Oh, a similar scenario with Depp and Pocock.
Oh, look at the avoiding action by the drivers.
Oh, that was great avoiding action.
Go around.
So then just to get it back, you just press the live button, Hutto. It'll go back to the live picture. So if you look at that and you look at Pocock and Depp's earlier in the race, the onus there is on Mr. Kanitska for not leaving enough room.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, that might be a bit of a slowdown for one of the drivers as I find my live button.
The live button is next to your timing tower editor. You'll see like play, stop, rewind, fast forward, quarter, and there's like a big red button that says live. There we go. Teaching Hutto SDK on the fly. You'll love to see it. Oh, now we've got Robotic Hutto for a second. I think he's back though. I think we're good to go. Can we even unpack this at this stage? We've got 18 and a bit minutes left of this race. Dylan Bono leads. Gowans, Gallo, Davison, Vella, Fahey, Brooke, Byrne, Roberts, Gerard, Davis, Noble, Kanitska, Pocock, Verney is the top 15. So at the moment, Brooke will be winning the Pro-Ams. He just needs to make the checkered flag right now and he wins that title. If he doesn't, and for whatever reason gets into a stack, well, then it could be limbs for Sheafy to still have an opportunity to win this championship, all from the back of the field, mind you. Which then also then brings into question Callan Hodgkinson as well. So he needed a certain amount of positions over Sheafy to get that title. That's still a little bit in question. For the pros, David Gallo would be winning that title at the moment. He is 3 positions ahead of Darren Fahey, his closest contender. Then to Daniel Byrne. And Marcus Kanitska is all the way back in P13 at the moment, 10 positions separating them. He needs to get back within 4 positions for it to go to count back.
Yeah, big task for Marcus now. I guess can his teammate Dave Roberts, try and slow down 1 or 2 other competitors, or try and hold up the rest of the pack in between. To there's still 15, 17 good minutes of racing, so a lot of time to make moves still. I think they are probably still due for another pit stop as well, Hamish.
Yeah, they would be. It was around about the 20th minute mark, I believe, they pitted. So
yeah, so we might see a few cars start to pit.
Yeah,
probably the next lap or two, actually.
I would say, yeah, probably before the 10-minute mark. I'd say we see some cars coming in. Could be a little bit of fuel saving for some of these drivers as well. But what an interesting development this race has become. You almost feel like something big could happen in the last 15 minutes, something world-bending, something, storyline changing. We've already seen so many storylines change throughout this race. Sheafy coming in as the favourite. One mistake, could it cost him the title to Ben Brook? Ben Brook just has to keep it clean. If he has a moment, all of a sudden Callan Hodgkinson could have an opportunity to win the title as well from absolutely nowhere. The top 5 in the championship, they're all spread out at the moment, like spreading dog biscuits in a backyard. You just cannot find them all throughout the field, and you cannot figure out who is in the position where they need to be to win this title. You look at Phil Vella, he's up 25 spots, P4, good enough to get him inside the top 20 of the championship and racing next Wednesday night. And he does not look like he has missed a beat thus far. Davis and Noble, they're up 20-odd positions themselves. The AMS Tessuera, he arguably has had it wrapped up for the last probably 10 laps since Rosanita had a moment. Oh, it's a tasty, tasty deal and tasty dish we have an offer here tonight for Wednesday Night Super Formulas, Hutto. What a championship it has been, and what a crescendo we are getting.
Yeah, but what a drive from Vella. Like, up 25 positions. Like, we know he's quick, but he's just done it with class, hasn't he? So, I guess the onus is, do you reckon he's going to win it tonight? Like, he's quick out there tonight.
No, and I don't know why. As soon as I go to Vella, we have blinking once again. Why is it doing this to me? He's got 7.9 seconds to gain on De Bono at this stage. It's a long way. He could get it done. It is going to be a tough task for him, I think.
Still early days, and like, look, Vella's on the charge. I think he's going to catch Gallo and Gowans, who are within half a second of each other. So he will probably catch them up the next lap or two, perhaps, whilst they're battling and trying to take that slipstream. Look, Vella could be on. Well, he's very much on for a podium right now.
He is. He very much is at this stage. He is rocking and rolling like it's nobody's business at this point in time. So we will see how much better he can do throughout this race. Just trying to see if there's anything I can do to stop this from being so jumpy for us at the moment.
Yeah, I was getting a bit of a comms breakthrough from your end.
That might have just been my actual microphone, not the blinking. All right, let's quickly just browse.
Stay on board with Gallo now. Oh,
yeah.
God. It's tight racing. Like, what, we're 46 minutes in, and these guys are not letting anything down right now.
They are not.
They're taking it to each other. There is everything to play for. Gallo's still trying to get a few more points ahead. Just get that buffer out there to the rest of his competitors. Look, Knitska's, crawling his way back from the depths of, well, he was at P14. He's now up to, P13 now. He's still trying to climb back. Pocock. He was one that had an incident early on. He's back up to P14, where he qualified. It's not over, Hamish. 14 more minutes. Do we hold our breath?
I feel like we have to at the moment. I feel like we have to hold our breath at this stage. I am just going to quickly make some adjustments on my end, but I'm going to leave the double screen up so we can still see your double screen here, Hutto. So I'm just going to quickly make some adjustments on my iRacing quickly, just to try and hinder some of these blinking issues, because I absolutely hate when this happens. But I mean, what a title race we've been having thus far this season. It's been incredible.
Yeah, as we speak, Vella is now on the hammer of David Gallo and looking to go past on the back of the end of the back straight. He's down the inside.
Can he get the job done?
Easily as well.
Oh, Phil Vella. Take a bow, sir.
Well, that's the thing. That pit window's got to be coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, he is pushing as hard as ever to try and get this job done. Pit window is not too far away. All right, we'll see if that has sorted our issues out. I just turned the amount of cars I was drawing down to 40-20 instead of draw all cars. We'll see if that makes a difference for right now. At the moment, Bono leads to Gowans, Vella, Gallo, Davison, Fahey, Byrne, Brook, Roberts. Davis is in the top 10 as well. As King has now brought his car into pit lane, so has Matty Gerard as well.
I guess, yeah, cars will start filtering in. We'll see where they pop out. Look, there's been a few drivers that just had an absolute stomper of a race, like Vella, 26 positions, Jamie Davis, 21, Noble, 22 positions. These guys have had incredible races.
They have been pushing themselves to their absolute limits thus far, and they are not giving anything up at this stage in time. Okay, I think I'm going to have to close my browser to stop how much it's actually drawing on my CPU. So you're going to have to read chats from now on, Hutto. I can't do it, unfortunately.
No worries.
Cool. That should sort us for the moment, because I don't want to have to share. I don't want to have to stop the share screen, because then we can't see exactly what's happening out there, and that's going to make it a bit hard for you, unfortunately.
All good, but look, Vella's still on the charge. He's making his way up on the inside of who's it? Dougie Gowans right now, looking to make that pass. Doesn't get it done just now. I guess he'll have another sniff at the exit of turn 1, perhaps. But the thing is, like, when do they pit? Here we go. They're in now. Oh no, he stays out.
Oh, so Vella going for track position here. De Bono's still out. So Gowans, Gallo, Davison all in. So they're going slightly longer here, Hutto. Very interesting play from them at this stage.
I guess the order hasn't changed too much. Roberts stays out as well, so I wonder if he'll be able to, I guess, hold that position, how much fuel they've saved behind the safety car.
Oh, could be an interesting play in this race. Heap of drivers into pit lane. Vernie, Tesseriero now coming past all of them. Tesseriero still needs pit stop in this race, so does Vernie. So does Pocock,
also
and so does Konitska.
For the leaders, where do they come out? Are they coming out into traffic?
Ooh, that's a good point. So where is Gowans? So Gowans has come out. Oh, he doesn't have too much. I mean, he's got Vernie ahead of him, but it's not too much traffic. They've all come out around each other, which could actually lend itself well to Dylan De Bono and Phil Vella, being that these guys could start battling. The extra lap or two could actually help Vella and De Bono in challenging for this win and actually maintaining position after this pit stop as well.
I guess we'll see now if where's Dylan coming up on the track. He's in the last quarter of the track, so he'll be going down that back straight, probably looking to pit very, very soon. So I might just stay on board with David Gallo, who's just trailing Dougie by about a second, and see where those leaders actually roll out in relation to these championship contenders.
So De Bono into the final quarter now. Does he enter pit lane this lap by? We've got 9 minutes to go in season 3 of 2024. De Bono comes into pit lane. So De Bono's in. Does Vella follow him or does he stay out? Vella is in as well. So those boys are in. We're on board with Gallo in the bottom corner. So we'll see in comparison where they are as they come down towards the end of the back straight. Oh, this is going to be tight, Hutto. But I think De Bono may still have a quality lead over them. It's going to be questionable about Vella. That's the one question I've got.
Yeah, Vella's quick. He's very, very quick. So I reckon he might be able to make a little bit of time in the pits, but where he pulls out in front of these guys is, I guess,
De Bono's out. Vella's coming round. Vella is out ahead of Doug Gowans. So the extra lap and the pace that Vella had has paid dividends for him, and now he has got 8 minutes to chase down Dylan De Bono, who is 4.5 seconds up the road from him. What an exceptional drive this would be tonight for Phil Vella if he managed to get the job done over De Bono.
Yeah, I guess we've seen it before where a driver has gone from essentially from the rear of grid and won, but this would be something very, very special, taking he must have started P29. That is incredible.
An unbelievable performance here tonight for Phil Vella. I think at this point, Hutto, we can pretty much confirm Matt Tesseriero as the champion of the amateurs. Josh King is out of this race. We've got 30 drivers left in the field, and there's no way that Callum Rossinier can not only get his lap back, but can also pass 29 other cars on the grid.
Well, a safety car would have to get called and he'd have to go around twice. So, look, unfortunate for Rosanita, but look, Tesseriero, he's been strong all season. Congratulations, mate. Look, it's been a fantastic drive. Well-deserved AM champion.
He has driven the season of his life. He will have the Pro-Am colours next to his name next season. Currently, Ben Brook is on road to have the Pro colours next to his name next season. Barring a mistake and dropping down to P25 or below, he will win that title here tonight. He has got 6.5 minutes to survive. The gap between Vella and De Bono has dropped by 0.7 of a second on that last lap, Hutto. So Vella is moving, and he is moving very, very quickly.
So De Bono will be keeping an eye on his relative. Both these, De Bono and Vella, well, it's a shootout. Who's in for bragging rights to who can win? So they're not in the sniff for the championship, but they want that win. So we'll see how this one pans out in the next 6.5 minutes.
Very, very interesting for what could occur here tonight. Darren Fahey has a 7.6 second gap up to David Gallo at the moment. So he needs an absolute miracle for Gallo to drop below him in this race. These two are now the favourites for this title race, being that they have the positions they need over Marcus Knitska in the title hunt. And now it's going to come down to who can survive. Gallo going for his second Pro Championship here. He won the final season of F3s. He nearly went back-to-back last season, so he has been he's almost been driver of the year at this point for 2024, Hutto. He has been at an absolute another level. Fahey, I don't believe he's won a championship just yet, has he?
No, not quite. But look, this season's been his best to date by far. Maybe that switch to downforce racing has really paid dividends for him. Another fantastic season by all drivers, but I guess for Faye, this would be one to have fond memories of.
Have we got any more YouTube chats out there, Hutto, that have come in since I had to unfortunately get it off my screen?
Update on the fastest lap. So the fastest lap currently, it is still Phil Vella with a 1:48.91. And can someone check he has a broken foot? Incredible drive from Steph Piccoli. I guess that moon, but I wonder how high he's got it perched up tonight. Is he a left foot breaker or a right foot breaker? I guess we'll have to chat to him in the green room perhaps in a few laps.
I would say he'd be a right foot breaker, being an open wheel driver, surely.
He's good. I'm a left foot breaker, by the way, but yes,
so
he's when I heard he was coming back this week, and then I saw the times that he was putting together during practice, I was like, is he like that moon boot has not slowed him down at all.
Yeah, it's almost like he's just burying the heel of it into the throttle. There's no ankle movement. It's just the knee is now the rotator cuff that he needs on that throttle control. He's doing an incredible job to do it, and he is still chasing down Dylan De Bono. Gap is now down to under 3 seconds between the leader and Phil Vella. It has been an incredible performance thus far tonight for Vella, up 27 positions. Shout out as well to Davis and Noble. They're both up 20 positions apiece and just outside the top 10 as well. What a breakout race for both of them. Noble on for another amateur win this season. Tesseriero currently second on the road for the amateurs and winning that championship at this stage. We are within the final 5 minutes, Hutto. In fact, we are just about 3 minutes to go. Can Vella not only catch De Bono, but also get the job done on him to get that win?
I guess those two guys, if Vella does catch up, they'll be fighting a tooth and nail for this victory. So, do I think he gets it done? I don't think he will. I think Dylan's just going to hold him off enough to get that victory. But look, I hope it happens. It'll take the race right down to the wire. But I guess my attention is David Gallo versus Darren Fay right now.
Well, that's it. And the gap is growing between them. 9 seconds is now the gap just about between Darren Fahey and David Gallo. Although Gallo has got Danny Davidson hot on his tail at the moment. But it still wouldn't do enough there for Fahey to hope to win this title, who in fact is losing position right now to Daniel Byrne at turn 1. So the battle is on. The inter-team battle of the championship contenders of Fahey and Gallo. now translates over to Gallo's teammate Daniel Byrne, who was in some controversy at the last race of last season when he took out Gallo's contender in Dylan De Bono. We'd hate for it to happen again, especially at this point in the race.
No, I don't think it'll happen between these two drivers.
I don't think
Former
so.
teammates,
Yeah.
very, very amicable between the two. So, look, they'll just be racing hard all the way to the end, and I think both drivers can hang their hat up proudly and say they gave it their best.
2 minutes left in this race as one of the Schmallenbergs is now off in the background. That's a Nick Schmallenberg missing his front wing. Probably 1 lap to go, Hutto, I would say, when De Bono crosses the line. Should be around about a minute to go, I would think.
What are we? A minute and a half. Where's Dylan Bono now? Entering that back straight. So, yeah, probably just the 1 lap.
Can you see how close Vella is to him? He's nearly up to a second.
He's stalking him, isn't he? He's just mowing him down. But what a drive by Phil Vella.
I know. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks since we've had Vella in the gridded course. Almost forgot how much of a freak he is behind the wheel of these cars. I mean,
but like, if you're from GSRC, you're watching this guy just mow down the entire pack. And these front runners are no slouches.
If you are Davis or Rehana, you are sweating right now.
Oh, you're hoping he has a rear. You're hoping he has a rear of grid for spelling his name wrong or something like that. Oh, who's that?
That was Martin Lipsky off at turn 1 there. So nothing changing up the championship at this moment in time. Final lap of the race, though. De Bono leads to Phil Vella, Doug Gowans, David Gallo, Danny Davidson, Darren Fahey, Daniel Byrne, Ben Brook, Marcus Knitska, and Jamie Davis makes up the top 10 at the moment. For the championships, it is currently David Gallo, Ben Brook, and Matt Tessariero who are the champion-elect for each class at this stage. Just about halfway around the lap now. De Bono does not have long to survive. The gap hasn't really grown since Vella's gotten to about that 1.6 seconds. So De Bono has countered that move and that gain that Vella's put on him. What a season we've had, though. Ups and downs. This race has been back and forth between a lot of drivers. You thought you could pick it, but all of a sudden, well, the racing gods decide to change the culture on us, and they decide to change up who we think could be the proper contenders for the title. Down the back.
Hamish, have we ever had a non-fireworks final round? Like the last 4 or 5 seasons have just been absolute entertainment from start to finish. So I expect nothing less today.
Yeah, it has been absolutely incredible all season long. It's been an absolute pleasure to call the action once again this season. At the end of the back straight, though, for Dylan De Bono, only a couple of corners to go for him to claim the win here tonight. Hops the curb on the way through. And now up towards the start-finish line as Dylan De Bono in dominant fashion. He had the pole. He takes the win at Aragon for the final round. Vella up 27 positions in P2. Gowans is going to make it another double podium here for Velocity Sim Labs. And David Gallo is the pro champion of Season 3 of 2024 by finishing P4 on the road, his second title in the span of 3 seasons. Ben Brook up across the line now. He takes home the Pro-Am Championship. And a bit further back on the road, Matt Tessariero is only a couple of corners away from finally claiming the Amateur Championship, which he has long challenged for ever since Season 4 of 2023. Across the line, and he has finally gotten the job done.
3 very deserving drivers tonight, Hamish, and look, what a season we have had. Like you said, it has ups and downs. Tonight delivered with the entertainment. Look, I couldn't have hoped for a better season and a better finale than that one we just saw.
What a season it was for a lot of these drivers. David Gallo, well, he nearly won the title last season without winning a race. This season, he wins it by winning a race. So maybe that is the trick. You win the title.
Yeah, proof in the pudding.
Yeah, proof in the pudding. Maybe it's just impossible to happen.
And I guess a few viewers are asking after Sheafy. Commiserations for Sheafy. What a gallant season he's had. Very, very unlucky to get caught up. And look, I guess Sheafy will walk away with his head held high. Look, he's been so strong all season. Just wasn't his day today.
And aside from Tessariero, who had one hand on the trophy already coming into this round, every championship winner, so both Ben Brook and David Gallo, came into this round not in the lead of the championship. And now they walk out as champion.
That's been the same, I think, last season. All three champions were trailing in that final race. So, yeah, look, those iRacing gods, they're cruel, aren't they?
They really are. They really can be cruel. As DeBono parks it up on the start-finish line. Round comes Gowans as well.
Just got another chat saying, I know what happened to Sheafy from Celio Mortis. I think... I know he lost a rear wing. What was it? That's right. He had a self spin.
Yeah, he had a self spin
after the corkscrew.
Yeah, and then
Matty Gerard
had nowhere to go.
Unfortunately,
nowhere to go for him. So no malicious intent in that one. That was just complete mistake and nowhere to go for him. But wow, what a season! As the burnouts begin for Velocity Simlabs drivers Dougie Gowans and Dylan DeBono, and they begin their celebrations of their podiums here tonight. It has been an exceptional season thus far, ladies and gentlemen, and it crescendos in almost the best way possible. As at the moment, Hutto is trying to pull up the results of the event so then he can get the points, so we know who is racing next Wednesday night, and so we can actually confirm who has won the titles. But provisional results on your screens now for this race. Dylan DeBono wins ahead of Phil Vella and Dougie Gowans for the podium here tonight. David Gallo wins the Pro Championship out of P4 ahead of Danny Davidson, Darren Fahey and Daniel Byrne for the top 7. Ben Brook finishes P8 on the road, wins the Pro-Am race and wins the Pro-Am title ahead of Marcus Knitska and Jamie Davis at the back end of the top 10. Need to give note as well, Vella was up 27 positions. Davis was up 20 inside the top 10. Roberts P11, Gerard P12, Pocock P13, and then Mitch Noble. He was also up a significant amount of positions, signed up 19 for P14 on the road. Nathan Verney, Matt Tessariero, he will lock out the amateur championship by finishing P16 on the road ahead of Tim Schmalenberg, Dean Singovich, and Shane Ratcliffe for the top 19 cars. We then move down to Callan Hodgson for the top 20, Kevin Wakefield, Sean Benici, Andrew Rushworth, Greg Johnson, Jason Depp for the top 25 cars. Tyler Sheaf, what could have been for him, he'll come back stronger than ever next season, putting in a proper challenge for this title once again. Martin Lipsky, Andrew Cowan, Nick Schmalenberg make up the top 29 cars on the road, with Callum Ross and Josh King at the back end of the field. Oh, wow. What a season. What a season, Hutto.
It's been nothing short of exciting. I think it's been so close all season. We've had numerous race winners. We've had first-time race winners. We've had guys get their 50 race milestones, their 100 race milestones. It has been an incredible season. And look, just the thought of having 5 drivers going into the final round, all within a sniff of winning the championship, is mind-blowing. And at the end of the day, only one can win it. And congratulations to David Gallo.
Yeah, I mean, a second title in 3 seasons, Hutto. I'm putting my neck on the line here. David Gallo at the moment is driver of the year for 2024 for the Super Formula Championship / F3s. He has been at another level.
He's had a stomper year, absolute stomper year, and I think he came second in the pros in season 2.
Yeah.
Only, I think he had to get 2 more positions and couldn't quite get there. But look. He's been incredible all season, and I'm glad that he's one of the drivers that will be taking through to the Australian Open Wheel Nationals next week.
Yeah, I'm incredibly glad that he'll be coming with us for that one. Can you let RC know that we need Matt Tessariero, Ben Brook, and David Gallo in the green room as well? Chat to them about their titles. We'll quickly chat to Mitch Noble. We already have Ben Brook in there, actually, so that's fine. We just need Tessariero, who should know that he won the title because I spoke to him before the race. He knew what the mission was. And then, just to Mr. Gallo on his championship win. We'll chat to Mitch Noble quickly, though. Need to pump through these as quickly as possible. We've got a couple of drivers to speak to. Mitch Noble, another classification win for you this evening for the amateurs on the road. We do not have a lot of time to speak to our podium finishers because we have got around about 6 people to talk to if everyone shows up. But a quality performance for you here tonight once again, mate. And I was speaking to Hutto during the broadcast. I think next season, if you can put these sort of performances together across the whole season, I mean, you're quite unlucky this season with a couple of incidents. I think you're going to be a proper challenge next season. But how was this race for you?
This race was good. The track works well with this car. I had quite a lot of fun. Heaps of overtaking opportunities, especially through those chicanes. You take a sharper line on exit down that back straight, and you've just got them. Very good.
Well, mate, of course, you've. It seems like you've taken to this car, this is moving over to iRacing, a lot quicker in terms of getting up to pace against this team, more so than the supercar, which you are getting better at week in and week out, season and season as well. But it feels like you've gone another level above for the open wheelers. Are you really gelling with this car, and do you think you are going to be able to take that next step forward in the next race, or in the next season, I should say?
I'm hoping to. I do like this car. I like the way it drives. It matches my driving style quite well. And obviously coming from ACC, cars of downforce, I'm used to some cars of downforce. The supercars have been a bit how you're going. They're very sensitive, but these I can just stamp on it and push it, and that just works.
Well, I'm just quickly checking where you would be situated. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, Hutto, I believe that Mitch should actually be in the top 27 for the championship, which could mean you may be racing next week, Mitch.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, Mitch is currently sitting P22, and after still sorting through a few drivers and, picking bits apart. But yeah, I think Mitch is qualified for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals next week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, mate, it has been an exceptional season for you. To top it off, you get to race next week against the SRC. We look forward to seeing how you go in that one. Let us know how helps get you out on track. Anyone else you wish to give a shout out to as well? And for myself and Hutto, congratulations on your class win here tonight.
Thank you. I want to give a shout out to Dean and Steve. Their endless support are phenomenal. Can't thank them enough. And obviously my teammates, Josh, Jamie, Brad when he's there, even Jacob, even though he's only recent. It's all been really good fun with those lads on track. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Shannon's, Warren & Brown Tools, Shunts, Grim Industries, NeuroPower, Cooler Master, and DSL Rail Services.
Very good, mate. Love to hear it. Best of luck next week and in the subsequent F1 Shadow Round in between seasons at Belle Isle. If we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck for Season 4 of 2024.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, mate. All right, we will quickly drag in. We're going to skip Ben Brook because he won the title, so he's going to have to sit and sweat for a bit. We're going to drag in Mr. Gowan. Oh, Gowans and DeBono, we'll drag them in together. We'll drag in Mr. Vella first. Mr. Vella, moon boot and all, which planet did you come from? Because that performance was absolute alien. 27 positions gained, P2 on the road, all in a moon boot. How?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad drive. It felt good actually to get a few laps in, and I was a bit cautious about being able to drive the whole hour. So I've done a few practice laps through the week just to see how the ankle would hold up, how it would feel. But yeah, tonight felt really good. I practiced on a hotter track, and it's like wearing weights, and then you come out on this beautiful cold track with plenty of grip, and yeah, it felt really good to be back out there, to be honest.
Well, I mean, we wanted to try and lock you into an Australian Open Wheel National slot. P2 on the road, I think, pretty much locks you into that slot now. How was the ankle though through this race? Obviously, it was a long race, 60 minutes plus practice and qualifying. Although you didn't actually get to qualify because of the rear of grid, do you think that actually helped you rest the ankle a little bit for the race, seeing as you didn't have to cut laps for that 15 minutes?
Yeah, I've got two braces that I'm switching between. So one I put in the freezer for a bit, and it's nice and cool, and then I've got a smaller one that is a bit more convenient than the moon boot. The moon boot doesn't fit on the deck that my pedals are mounted to, so I've got like a smaller strap-oriented ankle support that I put on for that. But I can't push the pedal down. I have to slide the whole foot backwards and forwards on the throttle side. So that took a little bit of getting used to, but I don't feel quite as precise doing it that way, but that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Well, mate, it was another exceptional performance from you. We look forward to seeing how you go next week in the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. Let us know, helps get you and DFR out on track. Anyone else you wish to give a shout out to as well, and for myself and Hutto and the rest of the league organisers, congratulations not only on your return to the series, but also on gaining 27 positions tonight and finishing P2 on the road after an incredible performance.
Yeah, I could see P1. I could see it coming back to me. Just a few more laps, and I feel like I would have gotten there. But Dylan drove an awesome race. Stayed out of trouble and just extended on that lead that he had. Big thanks to Darren and Scott. They ran a really really solid championship, and David obviously ran a better one, but to be that close on points, I think they should be really proud of that as an accomplishment. I'd obviously like to thank DFR. It's a privilege to be part of the team, and awesome to represent them in events like this. And a big shout out to my wife Monica, who's really helped me through my recovery and really cared for me and helped me get back on my feet to be able to compete.
Has skateboarding now been banned in your household?
I think I would be unwise to pick up a skateboard for the next 6 months to 12 months, yeah.
Maybe a longboard might be the way to go, just a bit more of a leisurely ride. But
I don't think there's a middle ground on this one. But yeah, look, there's probably something about 40s and letting that stuff go that I just need to embrace. But yeah, maybe something a bit lower impact like breakdancing.
well, you are our regular ray gun in this field, but I do not know how she's ranked number one. But regardless, mate, it was an exceptional performance for you once again. Best of luck next week in the Australian Open Wheel Nationals and in the subsequent F1 Shadow Round the week after at Belle Isle. For whatever reason, we don't get a chance to speak to you. Best of luck in season 4 of 2024 when you're hopefully back full fitness and full firing once again.
Yeah, big thanks to you guys, and big thanks to the team at SRW for helping me get back into things. Thanks, guys.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Well, we will now have a chat to our P3 and P1 on the road here tonight. Dougie Gowans and Dylan DeBono, the typical thing of, we're just going to chat to you together because you got the same sponsors to shout out, and you guys ran a relatively similar race, apart from the fact that Dylan ran away with it for a period, and Dougie, you were in the absolute deep end of battles with some of those championship contenders here tonight. You guys already locked yourselves into next Wednesday night, but how was it racing out here with nothing on the line, except for maybe some bragging rights, and taking home almost the perfect amount of chocolates, but Phil Vella, oh my God, just taking it away from you, Dougie, there in the end.
Oh, Phil changed tyres, he said, so I wasn't surprised that he actually come back through the field like he did. What an amazing drive by him with the moon boot on. I mean, come on, you do nothing but applaud that. He was very, very quick, and when I saw he started getting 148, there's no way I'm going to hold him back. As for me, with that race with Dave and Dan Byrne, all I can say is holy moly, thank God for antiperspirant. I have sweat pissing out of me. That was one hell of a race, one tough race, and none of us were given an inch. We were fighting tooth and nail for those positions, and it was just awesome. So thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, Dylan, you had almost the polar opposite end of a race. You started from pole. You pushed on ahead of pretty much the rest of the field from the get-go. Safety cars reeled you back into to contention with Phil there in the end. But what was the mindset in this one? Because it seemed that you just drove an incredibly clean, consistent race and had another very positive performance here at Aragon.
Yeah, mate. It was pretty touch and go with even racing tonight. Been working up the coast and made the trip down just so I could do the race. And yeah, I was very limited with the practice and had no idea how much the tyre wear was. So I just pushed on pretty hard at the start, tried to break the draft, stayed consistent, and then all of a sudden I seen Phil coming, and I was like, oh no. And then yeah, it makes more sense now. He took the tyres and he had that fresh rubber at the end.
Well, I mean, it was an exceptional performance from you anyway to push on from where you were and to, actually keep the pace in the car and keep the consistency as well. I know you've struggled with that a little bit in the past, but you've done incredibly well to run a very clean, consistent race and prove that you have got some pace in this thing still. And I mean, I think next week you are going to be one of those major contenders next week in my eyes, Dylan, because we know you've got some pace. Dougie, we know you've got some pace as well. You'll be the wingman for Dylan if you need to be, and vice versa. Yeah, it's a big race coming up, and then obviously as well the week after we got Belle Isle for the F1 Shadow Round as well. So big couple of weeks coming up for both of you, and could be on for some great performances once again. But I mean, another double podium for you guys. It wasn't another 1-2, but you guys did everything you could to try and hold back the ferocious Phil Vella in the end. But Let us know how helps get you guys out on track from Velocity Sim Labs. Anyone else you wish to give a shout out to as well, and for myself and Hutto, congratulations to you, Doug, on your P3, and to you, Dylan, on another win here in the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship.
Just quickly before Dylan does the sponsors, I just want to say a big congrats to the winners of Pro-Ams and Pros and the AMs tonight. They've obviously put the effort in all season, and well done to them. Yeah, to you, Dylan.
Yeah, big thanks to Velocity Sim Labs, all the boys there, getting it done there. We've showed improvement this season, I think. A couple of bad results here and there, but I think we've had a couple of podium results with me and Doug and a couple of the other boys in the classes. Hi Koki Power Tools, here to race YouTube channel. Thanks to SRW putting the league on week in, week out. And don't forget to check the Velocity Sim Lab page out on Facebook.
Very good, boys. Well, thanks for coming to have a chat to us once again. Best of luck next week for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. We will be announcing the track very, very shortly here at the end of our broadcast. So we look forward to being able to announce that one. Best of luck, gentlemen. If we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck for Bella the week after. And for whatever reason we don't get a chance to speak to you before next season, best of luck in Season 4 of 2024.
Thanks,
yeah, thanks, Hamish. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Fine. Well, Hutto.
I've crunched the numbers. I've done what I needed to, and I've got the list of 23 drivers that we'll be taking to the Australian Open Wheel Nationals.
Very
Before
good.
we go and do that,
we have to announce.
Let's go talk to some champions. I think.
know, right? I know. Let's chat to our first one here. Our amateur champion who walked in with one hand on the trophy tonight, just had to make the checkered flag in a positive position. Matt Tesoriero, what a dominant performance for you. A long time coming to win this championship, you have to agree. And you got the job done in the end. And you know what? You did it in arguably one of the most dominant fashions we've ever seen in a season, beating Callum Rosanita by over 100-odd points to the championship. Mate, how does it feel to finally get the job done?
Thanks, Hamish. Yeah, I'm really happy with the result. I was getting a bit nervous towards the end. I was getting too many incident points. I thought I was going to be bound for the pit lane. But no, I'm really happy to finally get this championship out of the way and move up.
Yeah. Congratulations, Matt, from everyone here at SRW. I guess, how was your approach to the race, and then when you saw Rosanita, I guess, tumble down the order, and probably unknown to you that he was actually a lap down as well. So how did your mood change throughout the race, or was it just in your mind, just, keep working forward, make each apex, just keep the car pointing straight, and we'll see what happens at the end of the race?
I started the race wanting to really push and sort of go for the win, just like I have the other few rounds. I think I tried, not to do anything too different. Had a really good run with qualifying, and then just got a really bad start. I'm just not a fast starter, and just got swamped, and then a few four crosses and off tracks, and then all of a sudden I started getting worried, so I sort of backed it off a little bit. But once I saw that there was a gap from, with the cars in front and a few cars behind, and I could sort of just settle down, I was pretty happy with that, and thought I was pretty safe at that point.
Yeah, fantastic. I guess, when did the moment drop, or when was the realization that I am champion? When did that occur for you?
The last lap.
All the way to the end, eh?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. I guess now your attention turns to next week, Australian Open Wheel Nationals. You're P15 overall. You're well and truly qualified for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. How do you prepare for that one?
As soon as I find out what track it is, I'll start putting some laps in just to try and get some consistency. I'm really looking forward to this, and it'll be a big field, so there should be some good racing, from the front right to the back. So really keen.
It's going to be, what, 40 of the best races across two leagues together for one very magical evening. And I guess we're just double checking with the powers that be whether we can reveal the track tonight. There is a video that will be dropping tomorrow, but it's whether we can give that information out tonight, which is
he said yes, so said supposed. Oh, he said supposed, so I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can.
We'll announce it at the end of these interviews, shall we, Hamish?
I think so.
Oh,
But
sounds good.
I guess, I guess, when you find out the track, you'll be able to get ready for that one. How much did team play come into tonight? And probably not so much for your race, perhaps, with the AM Championship, but I guess we've got to reach out. How's Sheafy going? Like, it must have been devastating for him. Have anything from his camp at all?
Yeah, he was pretty disappointed, but as soon as he made that mistake, he knew that it was all over for him. So I was pretty disappointed for him. There wasn't a lot you can do once your car's in pieces, unfortunately.
Mm. Well, I guess, Velocity Racing Team will have a lot to take away from this season to next season. You'll have, 3 or 4 of yous in the Pro-Am Championship, so another force to be reckoned with in Season 4. I guess, Maddie, tell us who's doing it for you, who's sponsoring you, and who gets you on track.
I've got no help here at home. This is my own little thing that I do on my own. But it's nice to finally be part of a team with the Velocity Racing team. Sort of just being a little privateer right along, just doing my own thing. And the boys reached out and asked me to jump in with them, and I've had some good support from them and some great practice sessions with them. So it's been really fun. Something new for me. So yeah, keep going forward like that. Also like to thank the league for SRW for putting on such a great series. Every week, you're going to get great racing, and it's well broadcast. It's well looked after by race stewards. It's great fun. I really appreciate what everybody does to let us race.
Well, Matt, go and soak up the glory of finally taking home this amateur championship. Next season, you will have a black background next to your name as a Pro-Am driver. Congratulations on your efforts this season and finally getting this championship done and dusted. Best of luck next week in the Australian Open Wheel Nationals, as well as the F1 Shadow Round between seasons. And if we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck in Season 4 of 2024.
Thanks, Hamish. Thanks, Otto.
All right, we'll now drag in our Pro-Am champion. There was 8 points between the contenders here tonight of Tyler Sheaf and Ben Brook, but one mistake has cost Sheafy, and it has allowed Ben Brook to come home as the Pro-Am champion here tonight. Ben, we had a little bit of heartbreak for Sheafy to lose the title the way he did by making a mistake, but you ran the consistent race as ever you do to take home this title, and proving once again that consistency is key and hitting your marks is absolute key, and just trying to drive a perfect race as best you can. Mate, what was it like in the cockpit tonight? Because Sheafy was on your tail for a lot of it, really putting the pressure on you, and then all of a sudden he was gone. Was it a bit of a sigh of relief when that happened, and then it's, right, let's just focus to keep the car on the road, or was it keep the pressure on yourself and try and push forward?
Yeah, I'm still buggered from the race. It was really hard and fast and hot and sweaty. But I knew Tyler was behind me, and it was all good. We were fighting pretty hard, and then he disappeared. But I didn't really know that he was a lap down or anything happened until probably halfway or so through the race when he come up on my relative, and it's like, oh, okay. I'll just still keep up with the guys in front and just sort of hang in the into slipstream a bit and just somewhat take it easy. But I was almost running out of instant points myself. So so it was pretty hard and fast. And I was chatting to Sheafy in the green room, and he's pretty down, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. And he's fast. He's been consistent for most of the racing. It was just unlucky that on the non-drop round he has his worst result.
Unfortunate for Sheafy, but yeah, congratulations from the team here at SRW to you, Benjamin. I guess, how were the opening exchanges for you? We had a few crosses to you and Sheafy back and forth, and it looked like you were surrounded by Velocity Racing Team guys. Like, how was that opening 20 minutes for you?
Oh yeah, it was hard work. It was just a ton of cars in front and behind, and the gap in front of me was only like a few tenths, and then Sheafy's only a couple of tenths and a couple of corners, showed the nose on some corners and things. And yeah, it was pretty hectic, but it all sort of settled down, and then we sort of got some gaps. And then the safety car came at the right time, and yeah, it was hard work, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was a fantastic season, wasn't it, Hutto? Just quickly, I mean, back and forth between Ben and Sheafy, and an incredible way to finish it off, obviously, as well. Next season, you'll be in the pro class, of course, Ben. Are you excited for that challenge going forward?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll need to find probably half a second or more, but yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, just the aim will just be just do as I do, just drive consistently and pick up some top tens and learn some more racecraft, and we'll go from there.
Very good. Is there anything else you want to quickly ask him, Hutto, before we let him go?
I think I've asked the big question. I guess, yeah, it was a very, very tight race for Benjamin Brook. Like 8 points going into that final race was very, very tight. One for you. How did you approach the race? Was it just keep it clean and see what happens, or was it just stay in front of Sheafy by all means necessary sort of thing?
I worked really hard to try and get a good quality position first and foremost, get that time down. That gave me a couple of positions up front. So I thought if I just hold there, don't get involved in too much of the racing. If there's a pro guy or whatever that wants to come up the inside, I've pretty much lifted and just stuck in behind and kept the slipstream going. And then with Sheafy, it was just the same, just stay in front and just keep pushing. And then once I found out he was a lap down, I just basically hold my position where I am and take it from there.
Well, Ben, it was an incredible run for you this season. You have claimed the Pro-Am Championship here on Wednesday nights for the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship. Let us know how helps get you and Frog Leap Juice Racing out on track. Anyone else you wish to give a shout out to as well, and for myself, Hutto, and the rest of the league, congratulations on being the Season 3 2024 Pro-Am Champion.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Big shout out to SRW and everything that they do. You guys in the broadcasting booth and race control with Greg and Tyson and co. And for Frog Leap, Juiced Energy, Racecraft, Sudspeed Gloves, and Stott Hall keep us all running, which is great.
Very good, mate. Best of luck next week in the Australian Open Wheel Nationals, and if we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck in the F1 Shadow Round the week after, as well as Season 4 for 2024.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. All right. The Big Daddy, Hutto, he's been sweating in that green room for the last 20-odd minutes. I think it's time we drag him in. Mr. David Gallo, you are once again the pro champion of Wednesday night Cooler Master Super Formula Championship. If you'd won it last season, you would have been 3 in a row at this point, but you've won 2 titles in 3 seasons now. Myself and Hutto, we've come to the conclusion that you are the driver of 2024 at the moment. You are firing on all cylinders, mate. How does it feel to finally lock in another top-level championship here after winning the final season in the F3s in Season 1?
Good evening, gents. Thank you. Over the moon, I think. If you had told me 5 rounds in, I was going to be in the top 3, let alone on the top step, I would have said I was no danger of it happening, but I sort of kept it clean and the planets have aligned somehow. Yeah.
I guess, fantastic season, really, David. I guess, are you aware of how close it actually was for the championship? Have you done any mental mathematics whilst you've been driving around for 60 minutes at all?
No, I knew coming into it, I had to sort of be, I think sort of 3. I worked out as 3 positions or fastest lap, but when Phil and Danny joined, I thought there's no danger of the fastest lap, so I had to make sure it was sort of 4 or 5 positions. But up until sort of I think it was the 30-minute mark, he was sort of a couple of positions behind me, and Darren was also just tailing as well. So I sort of thought that's where it's going to be and that's where it's going to end, sort of thing. So, but I actually don't know how close it was in the end there.
Yeah, just crunching the numbers, and I've got my helper backstage as well, actually going through the points and the processes. You eclipsed Konitska by 4 points, 1 position. And then Darren Fay was another 4 points behind Konitska. So 4 and 8 points back to second and third. How tight is that? Yeah, unbelievable, really. So, David, how did you approach? I guess you and Daniel, how did you both approach tonight's race, knowing you're both in with a very good shot of winning this championship?
Yeah, I think being a 60-minute race, we knew it was going to be pretty important to quali, sort of up that pointy end. So we did put some laps in last night. I'll put a few laps in, then did the same on Sunday, and sort of compared a little bit of data before coming into tonight. But the toe's so huge on the track, so we knew we had to sort of stick together in quality there to sort of make sure we were up the pointy end, and then just keep it clean and punch laps out, lap in, lap out sort of thing, and make sure we sort of kept it up there. Dougie got the jump on me at the start there, so I would have liked to stick with Daniel, but it was tight racing and the times were so close.
I guess, yeah, it was very, very entertaining for us up in the broadcast and for the viewers. That little battle pack between like third and seventh, so like I guess Dylan De Bono jumped away, but there were 5 drivers, all the contenders were there, all racing together within a second of each other. What was that like? Just, take us through what it was like tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking. I was forever looking at the relative and seeing who was jumping and who's pitting earlier. And the other thing was on the cards, which I think Phil took tyres, so we're weighing up the tyre option too, which I didn't go for in the end. But that relative and the delta times, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. Yeah, especially when we're talking positions like where it ended up. It was tough, very tough.
I guess you can relax a bit now. You've got the championship done, but look, the racing still continues here at SRW next week. If you haven't heard, the Australian Open Wheel Nationals are on. How do you approach it? Are you open mind, or are you just going to try and enjoy the spectacle that it's going to be?
Yeah, I think enjoy it. I'm sure there'll be elbows out a little bit to a degree to sort of represent SRW. I keep refreshing Discord to see what track it's going to be, but yet to know. So looking forward to it. Either way, I think it's going to bring some good racing and some awesome battles.
Well, David, it has been an exceptional season from you. Once again, a second championship in 3 seasons. We were under the impression we're going to be able to announce track this evening, but we're unfortunately not going to be able to. The reveal video will be going out tomorrow on our socials at SRWtv on Facebook. I believe GSRC will also revealing it on their socials as well, so that track will get announced tomorrow. But David, another title in your back pocket. Just quickly, Hutto, does Daniel Byrne have more than 2 season championships, or is he on 2 as well?
I think he's just on the 2. I'd have to double check and crunch those numbers in the background, because I know Vella's definitely on 3.
Yep.
Gallo's now up to 2. Byrne definitely 1. We know that. It could be 2, but
Matty Jones as well, I think, is on 2, isn't he?
2, yeah, perhaps. But yeah, I'll have to look back through the records that we've got, and I guess good to see another multiple-time champion.
Well, David, it was incredible to call the action for your season once again. Congratulations on your Pro Championship win. Let us know who helps get you and Carlin's Motorsport out on track. Anyone else you wish to give a shout out to as well, and for myself and Hutto and the rest of the league, congratulations as being the Season 3 2024 Pro Champion here in the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship.
Great, thank you guys. Big shout out to you guys at SRW. Putting on the league and the broadcast, a lot of work goes into it. So thank you to you guys. Carlin's Motorsport. So Driver 808, which is Daniel on TikTok and YouTube. Glam Raider, Little Rara, and Eagles Automotive, and Daniel. For I suppose us working sort of closely together and comparing and getting sort of the results together. So thank you. And a shout out to my wife, Anna, and my 2 girls, Valerie and Anthea. Thank you.
Very good, mate. Best of luck next week in the Australian Open Wheel Nationals as well for our inter-season F1 Shadow Series round at Belle Isle. If we don't get a chance to speak to you over the next 2 weeks, best of luck for Season 4 of 2024.
Cheers, appreciate it, guys. Thank you. We'll catch you next week. Thanks.
No worries. Thank you. Well, Hutto. Another
mate. What a season.
Another season wrapped up. Another classic, I think we can agree. on offer for us once again this season. I'm pumped for next week. A lot of things to get in check for next week, of course. Get those graphic settings set up. Make sure I've got everything set to perfection before we go racing. But I'm excited, Hutto. It's going to be a massive week next week. Australian Open Wheel Nationals to come next week. The track will be announced as of tomorrow. I really wanted to announce it tonight, but it will be tomorrow that it will get announced.
However, we can announce the drivers.
We can announce the drivers that are racing next week, who we have got on screen for you now. So the GSRC drivers were announced yesterday. Of course, Jeff Adams, Rich King, Jackson Rehana, Matt Schmidtke, Mark Gomes, Jake Jackson, John Baldwin, Drew Collins, Sam Chapman, Adam Laves, Eduardo Zamora, Greg Heaney, Scotty Barton, Jackson Dial, Chris Noble, Sam Stride, Aidan Luthwaite, Sean Benici. So Benici will be representing GSRC next week, not SRW. Shane Ratcliffe as well, and Andrew Rushworth. Or is that just a general list?
Yeah, sorry, it's just a general list. I've put the SRW guys on the left, and I just had, that was the spare spot.
Okay, that's
for
fine.
The SRW guys.
That's fine.
Yeah, I guess from SRW, like that list of names we're taking across is Stomper. Look, there's 23 very competitive drivers. So yeah, the 20 on the left, and then Benici, Ratcliffe, and Rushworth at the tail end there. Look, next week's going to be brilliant. Look, we've both seen the track. It'll get announced tomorrow, which unfortunately we can't drip feed anymore for tonight. But look, it's going to be brilliant. Two leagues coming together for what's probably a first in Australia, I think. I guess
we could give a clue. We've given a couple of clues.
Okay.
We gave a clue that it's a Grand Prix circuit. It's a track we've driven at before. We'll say it's in Europe. That's all we're going to give anyone. It's a European Grand Prix track we've raced at before. That's about as general I think we could ever get.
It only narrows it down to about, 15?
Probably more about 20, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, the heavy hitters that we're taking with us, of course, David Gallo, Marcus Kinitska, Darren Fahey, Scott Pocock, Daniel Byrne, Doug Gowans, Danny Davidson, Dylan DeBono, Phil Vella. I mean, we are taking, Matt Gerard as well. We are taking a stacked lineup next week into the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. It is going to be huge, absolutely huge next week. You guys do not want to miss it. We'll be live here as well as on the GSRC channel as well. With myself, Hutto, and one of their commentator representatives in the booth with Sinker lurking in the background like a little gnat, giving us all the details about Season 4 and putting up a bit of promotional stuff as well for that one. But I'm super, super excited. I'm super excited for Season 4 as well. But before we get to Season 4, we have to finish off round 9 for 2 more of our series, including tomorrow night, the Shannon's Insurance GO86 Nationals with JP and Sinker in the booth. And then Sunday is Warren Brown Tours. We at Supercars Championship as well. Round 8 this Friday night for the Legends World Challenge and for the Warren Brown Tools GTDs. Then next week, Australian Open Wheel Nationals on Wednesday, and round 9 for the Legends World Challenge and the Warren Brown Tools GTDs. Week after, we go to Belle Isle, Hutto, for the Cooler Masters Super Formula Championship for the F1 Shadow Series, the only F1 Shadow Series race we have in between the seasons in our break this season. Then we return next season for Season 4, which the calendar's already been released. It's a fantastic calendar. We'll talk about it more in our F1 Shadow round at Belle Isle, of course, but what a season it has been. It's been unbelievable.
That was Stomper. If I was a script writer, it's had its twists, its turns, it's had its comebacks. First time win. We've jammed every sort of storyline we could imagine into one season. And look, last season I thought, we're not going to get anything like it again, where the driver finishes 10th and the guy that wasn't supposed to win wins the whole damn thing. But it's gone and happened again. So look, Season 4, I don't know how it's going to raise the bar again. But look, this series is just phenomenal. And we get to call it all again next season as well, Hamish.
Mate, we do. We do indeed. We get to see how Cowie does next season, of course. Can he have a season without any incidents? I really appreciate us shouting that out. And then we'll see if he's back in the booth with both you and I for Season 1 next season, or if he's fallen in love with them by then and decides, no, I want to race on Wednesdays from now on. We'll have to wait and see. But Ladies and gentlemen, we have to give a big shout out to all of our series sponsors, including our title sponsors, Warren & Brown Tools, for their continued support of the Tuesday night Fiat Supercars Series, the Friday night GTDs, and the Sunday night Fiat Supercars Championship, as well to Cooler Master for their continued support of the Wednesday night Super Formula Championship, as well to Shannon's Insurance for their support of the Thursday night GR86 National, as well to all of our other sponsors, NeuroPower, DSL Railway Services, Shunt, Scenery, and Groom Industries, the home of the V8 Coffee Table, which can be found on Prime Video's Top Gear Australia, in their little studio segments, whether it be for the news, reviews, or interviews, or anything else that they are doing within the studio. You can see it dead center stage. This has been a massive season so far. It's still not over for 2 of our series, or for all 4 of our series coming up across the next couple of days, but this has been the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship, round 9 of season 3 of 2024 out at Motorland Aragon. I've been Hamish Munro alongside Brad Hudson once again. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you here on SRWtv with JP and Sinker back in the booth tomorrow night. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostyn, Cam Waters, almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble
Bottle right now because I'll tell you what, Bruce Tanak, Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away.